Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Deadlands Hunters Society, where our cameras are still accurate. Yay! All
Yay!
Right. That's off for that.
The advantage of having them mounted on pieces of metal instead of wires.
Yeah, I know, right?
And there are no wires.
No wires, as you can see. We have yet again improved ourselves. We have made the studio harder, faster, and stronger.
I don't know if a studio can really be faster, and if it is, you've probably done something horribly wrong.
On wheels.
You know, it's
Or
No.
Put it on wheels.
or you built a spider car under the studio and lifted it out of its
Spider car.
concrete setting.
I mean, just ask Hanweir how you can make a stationary. Just ask Hanweir how you can make a stationary facility faster.
That did not work out well for Hanweir, by the way. I would just like to clarify. Oh, there's a PVC pipe in the background.
Hey, PVC.
We can beat people on.
I can poke things.
Poke things, yes.
Yep. All right,
Now
so
that there are no wires, you can poke the people across from you.
hello, everybody. I will take that stick and beat you all with it. I am the executive producer here at Final Show Films, John, and also the game master for the evening. And joining me today is the lovely Holly.
Hello. Oh,
I'm going to hold my hand until you finish.
can I bite it?
I mean,
No.
This is specifically for John Locke Cole. Because he said if I had a meter
gosh.
stick, I could sweep it all the way through the air above the table.
I was going to take it and beat somebody with it.
What? Right. Sorry. I'm Holly. I'm playing Gilda Dwarven Gunslinger Death.
And the not-so-lovely Austin.
Hello,
He's
I
pretty
am playing Mathis Dubois, French nationalist, demolitions expert, and troll extraordinaire.
And the partially dismembered William.
I'm not. The character is.
I mean, we can't know that for sure. We can't see your legs from
yeah,
here.
I can't see the bottom half.
yeah,
In
they're not on the
fact,
floor either.
I don't see legs on the floor.
It's because I'm good like that. I am William, and I am playing Cadmus, the Dwarven Rigger.
And the not-at-all dismembered Stan.
I'm playing Ian, the elf mage.
And when last we left our protagonists, they had cobbled together a monstrosity of a vehicle, also known as a death, Twinkie, or spider car, depending on how you view it, to escape from a cryostasis facility in which they had found themselves after going there to rescue a variety of people who had been cryogenically frozen from before the collapse of society and the world as we know it. While there, they ran into murder hobos, with machines attached to themselves. They ran into sentry drones that they used to fuel the mechanics of the car. And they ran into a massive radioactive dragon, giving one of our new members, Mathis Dubois, his first real taste of this new world. He found it exhilarating, or death-defying, whatever. They then, as they left on this 5-mile-an-hour vehicle, they
left at a Santi jog.
they were attacked by a group of ram motorcycle riding bandits, the very same kind that had been attacking the cryogen facility. Through some clever use of mechanics that they had previously mounted to the Austin's distracting me, that they had previously mounted, as well as some clever uses of magic by some of their supporting team that had arrived. They were, and I left my notebook that had everybody's names in it.
You don't remember our name?
Their names.
Their names.
Oh.
The NPC's name.
Right.
Anyways, I remember most of them. But yeah, some clever use of Duran. That was it. Duran was the dwarven magician that had with them. They managed to hover the Death Twinkie above the bikers who went past. They finished killing them all and continued on their way. So it's going to take you, it took you a few hours to get from the train station to here. It's going to take you a bit longer in this vehicle.
I mean, we can see what we can scavenge from the bikes that wrecked.
So if
That's not really gonna help.
It's not going to help much getting this thing.
Because I brought the bikes on board, and I remember there's not much bike to these.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, if you can theoretically set the vehicle to autopilot if you want to take the time to look at things.
I mean, it's not gonna like suddenly careen off the road at 5 miles an hour. So yeah, sure.
There's also not a road to careen off of.
We don't have a road. Yeah.
The vehicle starts to very slowly lean to the right.
The vehicle
And
has
lean to the
developed
right.
a slight lilt to the left. And we're going through the desert. Congratulations, we are on the desert bus.
The desert death Twinkie. So, communicate amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Well, Matisse Dubois is, all up with the motorcycles, scavenging them apart and trying to rebuild his own personal motorcycle. Because he
Let
needs a
me know how
motorcycle.
well that one goes, Frenchman.
Gilda's fiddling with a turret.
Define fiddling.
Kind of playing with it.
See, that was what I was concerned meant when you said fiddling with a turret.
You know,
Well, just aiming at things out the
spider.
spider.
So what are you
Don't
doing?
waste any ammunition. I'm just waiting for us to get there.
I set it on autopilot, and then I just kind of turn around and watch Matisse meddle around with this pile of scrap that these raiders have been
I've
driving.
probably got 3 different of the smaller motorcycles, and I'm trying to scavenge their parts for my larger motorcycle.
All right, make me an automotive mechanic check.
Do.
With -2 penalty to your dice pool because these are strange bikes.
Okay. That's my logic. I found it. Just took me a minute. Ooh. 2 successes.
All right. Yeah, you definitely have some wheels for the bike.
Better than the airplane landing gear wheels.
Yeah, and as you sort of go over the scraps, like I said last time, there's not really much to these bikes. They're mostly just body and wiring. You do manage to find some. You don't recognize it. It is an out of place piece of tech on these bikes. It is basically where the engine would be. There's a battery and some weird device.
Does the battery look like it powers?
The battery
bike?
is definitely the power source of the bike. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a battery powered bike, not
Yeah.
a gasoline. Okay, cool. Which would really suck because I imagine it's really hard to get gasoline right now,
I mean, yeah.
given that we're post-apocalyptic and all that.
Most of the oil rigs are on fire still.
It happens.
What happens when you endlessly pump oil onto a fire?
Yeah.
No, that's what happens when you intentionally light an oil rig so you can deplete somebody's reserves.
Yep.
Or accidentally light an oil rig. That happens too.
I mean,
should
when
go blow some
when nukes go off, things get lit. I mean, who can say who caused it?
Shouldn't we? I mean, that would be a thing to take over, though, as an oil field, just for fun. Because we need lubricants and plastics and stuff too.
I'm going to. So the battery is the power source. Can I figure out what this device, based on the wiring, is doing?
It's,
You need to make me a hardware check.
I don't have hardware. I'm an engineer. I can just straight logic it, I
so
guess.
just straight logic and just
When you're
roll well.
unskilled rolls, I believe, are at -2.
Yeah, I'm not rolling very well for that. I'm just gonna. What does the device look like?
It's sort of like it's a box.
Just a box.
It's a box with wiring in it.
My cyber eye is like zooming in on what he's fiddling with, and I'm just taking a look over at it. And as
Right
he's
now,
trying to figure
I've probably stopped fiddling, and it looks like I'm tracing wires.
Make a hardware roll.
yeah,
Logic hardware.
Do you have hardware?
yes, I do. I also have my logic max.
I don't have detect magic, but can I figure out if it's magical?
Sure, making a sensing roll.
One of those.
Actually, yeah. Is it magical? 'Cause I
Magic,
just
a sensing.
see things.
What powers do you have?
Astral projection.
You have to focus and project yourself to do that.
Oh, okay.
It's not
It is-
passive.
5 successes.
To you, well, wait till let's stand
Okay,
finish up too.
what do I do for...
Magic plus a sensing.
Okay.
So
In other words.
your number of dots in magic, your number of dice in magic, and
Yeah.
your number of dice in the sensing skill.
Right. I'm not gonna have very much here.
Yeah, with adepts, you have to actively
4.
project yourself into the astral plane. Mages can just sort of passively.
I got 4.
4. It's definitely not magical.
Okay.
You do not sense anything magical about it. You do sense. You sense something. With the sensing, you don't just sense magic. You sense the auras of things,
Right.
and it has a mechanical aura to it.
Okay.
But the mechanical aura, like you're sensing the mechanical aura of it, you're also sensing the mechanical aura of the machines around you, and the mechanical aura of this box is brighter than the mechanical aura of everything else that you're sensing. You don't know what that means. You just know that it is mechanical, but distinctly different from other mechanical things. Successes on yours?
5.
5. So it looks like a rig box, like a rigger's box, like a wireless rig, like a wireless rig amplifier.
It's a drone rig.
Kind of.
It's not for the rigger. It's for the thing being rigged.
Yeah, but it's not put together correctly for it to be used in that manner, as far as you know. Like, this looks like somebody put it together wrong. You imagine that it was meant to be used for the bikes, so that the bikes were being rigged. They weren't actually being driven. And you sort of, like, looking at a distance, you'd have to get a little bit further. You'd have to get a little bit further into it to take a look to see exactly how it was rigging the bike. But it definitely looks like this was controlling the bike. Maybe if it's not the way you would have done it, but that's what you think.
Troll, hand me that box.
It's no use to me. I'll toss it to him.
Right. Don't lean 5 miles away from the mic.
Oh, yes, I can lean 5 miles. I have that much stretch.
You are that tall.
Ball is not that far from the table.
Make another hardware roll.
Same dice pool.
Dice. They're made of dice. Would this battery be compatible with just any other device?
Probably, yeah. You could probably rig it to work on your bike.
Cool.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So just sort of looking at the construction and everything, it looks like this went to discrete micro motors within the chassis of the bike itself, that would sort of power each wheel individually. So effectively, it was more like a drone. The bike was more like a drone than a bike. Yeah. And this drone controller, in addition to being hardwired to those micro motors, also had wireless functionality that connected it to something else.
Well,
That's interesting. He says, offering no explanation if no one asks.
no, Matisse is.
David, still sort of scavenging some of the exosuit off of one of these guys, looks over. What's interesting?
All right, one of the NPCs will bite.
Well, it looks like whoever built this abomination of a bike actually built it more in line with the drone specifications and purpose built it that way. It's a drone control that controls the wheels, and specifically the wheels, and only the wheels.
David sort of unhooks a thing from one of the exosuits.
Also, it's wireless to connect to something else.
And tosses it over to you. What about this?
Look the same.
Similar.
To control the exosuit and the motors of the exosuit.
You'd think so. You can make another hardware roll to confirm.
3.
Yeah, no. The drone controller on the bike and the drone controller is definitely something that connected to the exosuit. It also acted as an amplifier, so that effectively what you got here is somebody remotely controlling both bike and rider.
Somebody's got an army of poor hapless suckers put into remote control exosuits.
I'm still. I'm working on scavenging the
you're working on
batteries
your
and
bike.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Would that, be,
I don't care what the not French people are saying.
Yeah.
would that be the ones we faced?
Probably. They're not the ones controlling it. But
Well, I mean, that would make what were they like? You guys fought them. We didn't.
psychopathic, not really all there,
Odd.
and the suits kept fighting after they were dead.
Things of nightmares?
Okay. Well, I mean, if you wanted shock troopers, I could imagine worse.
Aye. Also, way too strong, especially for that thin of a suit. But
he sort of looks down at it, bends a bit, and sort of pops off like a bracket, and removes an arm from the arm, like the exosuit arm from the other arm. Looks at it, bends it back and forth. Here, look at this. Tosses it to you. And you sort of look, now that you know what you're looking for, you see little micro engines dotted throughout. It looks like each joint was individually powered by its own engine.
these are too powerful for how small they are. There's nothing that we could make that could be this efficient.
Well, at least not with what we have right now. We could
Fair.
probably use that, though, couldn't we?
Oh, absolutely. Make some exosuits that aren't bolted to your bone system.
Well, we should probably work on figuring out where these come from.
You know, got a line on something that might be relevant.
Yeah, you told me, the fabricator.
Found a fabricator. The location thereof never got picked up and brought to the site.
You think that's what they were after?
Maybe.
So, what do you think?
I think we need to get back to base with this side, but with this augmentation suite, get faster vehicles and get to that second site.
Well, I don't know if this thing's gonna go down the tunnels. We're gonna have to go over land with it.
It's gonna be even longer, but we can't just leave the augmentation suite. And if we take it with, how far is the second site from what I got?
You don't know. You'd have to get back. You'd have to get to the satellite bunker to triangulate location.
I couldn't triangulate without the satellite bunker, and it could be further away than the base, as far as I know.
Well, he looks up and out over the wheel, over the thing, and just passively, you guys notice your radiation ticker start going up again.
That's not good.
I don't see anything in the sky. Probably just nearing a pocket. What's that?
I look.
Anyone who's looking, make perception checks. Or, intuition, perception.
Two.
That was not a good roll.
2.
1.
3.
So Matisse does not see whatever everybody else is pointing at.
Yeah, I'm focused on the bike. It's fine.
Everyone else, you see sort of a blocky silhouette. Looks like it rammed in some sort of large like freight truck that rammed into the side of a of an old building that's collapsed. And David sort of looks over at it. You think we can get that up and running?
We might could. First, it looks like a freight truck, right? So it's got like a truck container and then the actual vehicle itself.
Yeah.
I get on the front gun and pelt some bullets into the container.
Nothing
No response?
you can tell.
Right.
So
Looks
there's
like it might be
nobody
empty, but keep weapons on you when you go to look for it.
Yep, we'll do. Derek and Duran, could you guys run back? I know we're not moving that fast. Can you guys run back and grab batteries out of any of those bikes that are left over?
I pulled all the bikes onto the.
Oh, I thought you only pulled a couple of them.
No, I grabbed all because you said I could just hop off, grab one, run back.
Yeah,
throw it
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, I grabbed all the bikes.
Oh, you did? Okay, never mind then.
As many as you can.
In that case, sir, rewind. Derek, could you help our troll friend make sure that those batteries are usable? We might need them. And he goes, yeah, sure. And you suddenly have an elf sitting next to you with a deck, pulling them out and plugging it into batteries and sort of checking them.
Seems fair.
All right. Do you sort of re-angle towards the freight truck?
Yeah.
All right. Vroom-tf, vroom-tf, vroom-tf. You probably get there faster on foot. At the rate that the spider's going, it's probably going to take a half an hour.
Yeah,
to get over
I
there.
set it to autopilot to stop next to the truck and then go out and walk.
Okay, so you come is just all right. Do
Start running.
click click. Start walking faster than it.
Like, the only reason I'm having it autopilot there is because I need to get the cyber. I want to get the cyber suite closer so I don't have to carry it the rest of the way.
Yeah, David hops out and goes with you.
Yulda's gonna hop out and go with them and pull
Alright.
out her gun.
All right,
Flip my shotgun.
I'm just gonna.
Flip my
well,
shotgun wrist down.
David looks
we're
like
all gonna run up front.
David looks like he's the only one of the support group that's going. So there are other people back
Yeah.
to defend the spider.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna stay back
probably
with the,
go
group.
just because
in case anything comes out of the truck and you.
I don't shoot things.
Yeah, he
blow
doesn't shoot
stuff
things.
up.
I'm actually really bad at shooting things.
That's okay.
He's bad at throwing
It doesn't
things
matter.
too. It's people specifically that he throws.
I mean, I can throw decently. I've got a decent amount of throwing skill. I'm just better at throwing people than I am at throwing random objects.
Exotic weapon proficiency, metahuman body. So yeah, it takes you guys just a couple minutes. Like it takes you guys half the time it's going to take it to get over there. So 15 minutes and you're there. And yeah, it looks like it looks like it was a large hover truck. Doesn't have wheels. It has it has hover propulsion emitters on all along the bed of it. Both the cab and the truck
Yeah,
itself.
so that'd be pilot air, actually.
Yeah. And it looks like it ran smack fuck dab into this building. Like the cab is crumpled in. The building is partially collapsed onto the cab. The trailer seems to be mostly intact except for the bullet holes you put into it, but the truck itself is crushed.
What kind of building does it look like?
Looks like it was like an office building or something.
And like bricks?
Yeah, like brick and steel.
How big of a truck is this?
Fairly big. The trailer by itself is the size of the Death Twinkie.
So I head to the back of the trailer. Does it look like it's locked, or?
Yeah, electronic.
I'm gonna see if I can.
The electronics are long dead.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna blast the lock off and see if I can open
Right,
the
make
door.
a attack roll with your shotgun arm.
While he's doing that, I'm checking out. The cab is completely destroyed.
Yeah, the cab is crushed under rubble.
Two
Like,
successes.
it looks like what it looks like to you, and it doesn't take a roll to know this. It looks
This
like
guy veered off the road. hit
it
the
looks like
building,
it hit
collapsed.
a support structure.
Yeah.
And like now the cab is in lieu of support structure.
So there's no scavenging the actual engine out of this.
Maybe you can't really tell the extent of damage to everything below the driver cab area. You can kind of tell that it was a flat front truck, so the engine was underneath the cab, so it might have held. You'd have to unbury it first, and you're not quite sure how you'd do that yet.
Yeah.
What was it?
Two successes.
Yeah, you punch a hole. You basically blow the electronic lock off entirely.
With the shotgun arm still ready.
So, Austin, what would a fruit truck smell like after 175 years?
Nothing.
I'm imagining there's some sort of
Oh.
body check that's being made about now.
Stench.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because it would, if it was fruit, it would ferment and rot and would be almost totally gone now. You might have a residue smell, but 150,
But it was
75
sealed.
years.
But the thing is, yeah, if it's
sealed?
it.
And
So
it's-
there's not going to be any fruit left. It's going to
Right.
be
It's gonna be
compost.
Slurry.
yeah.
However,
gonna be
the air has been stagnant for that long. Like there were going
Yeah,
to be so many
right.
spores in the air.
Settled by now. But I mean, anyway.
Pressurized.
You're not going to want it to breathe at this
Yeah.
Like
point.
yeah,
I
the,
mean,
th- yeah.
not
The thing
real
is,
soon,
the,
but
the
still.
air it would have expanded in there. Like it's going to, that when you blow the lock, you probably don't have to open it. It probably
It probably
pops open.
Yeah.
It's like shotgun blast. Bing! Back
Yeah,
away.
so I'm gonna
Yeah.
need you to make a body check for me. Just a straight body roll.
Though you're a dwarf, you get +2 to resist poisons, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
Poison
say it
diseases.
counts as
Which is
poison.
relevant because that makes that from 1 to 3.
Yeah, so you don't throw up, but that's one hell of a smell that just erupted out of this truck.
Ugh. Bloody. Can we get a flamethrower in here?
And you sort of you think about the fact that you shot it previously, and you look like you sort of look over and you notice that where the bullets impacted didn't go through. This truck was reinforced. So yeah, this has been just pressurizing for 175 years.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Air that out for a bit.
So do
if
trolls
anyone
like
got
that kind
some
of stuff?
fire, I'd appreciate it.
No.
And now you're all smelling it. So go ahead and give me some body checks from everybody else.
You're a dwarf too, so +2.
And Matisse, how often do you think you've smelled stuff like this, being a pampered, wealthy, rich?
Oh, never.
Yeah, so you're going to have a -2 penalty to this one. Because even though you're a troll, there are certain things you're not acclimated to.
3.
3?
3.
3.
I'm still in the truck.
Yeah.
That's Twinkie.
He's in a good place.
I'm watching
right
it.
So yeah, you're from a distance as the Twinkie approaches, you
I
sort of
see
watch
this
and
air.
you just sort of see this
The black air
greenish
coming out.
this greenish black cloud erupt out, and the three of them sort of stagger away gagging. None of them throw up.
If it's anything like moldy corn, I know what it smells like.
None of them throw up, but it's distinctly foul all around. It's sort of like nasty radiating out from this
I
truck.
will say at some point, what it was originally becomes irrelevant after a certain level of rot. Like
Yes.
rotting human
Yeah.
flesh and rotting plant matter become indistinguishable at a certain point.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
They both reach that
They're
sort of
broken
like
down to a
sickly
point.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it smells.
Can we get the mage with a fire spell in here? I think I'd prefer Ash to that.
What happened?
He's still back on the thing.
Yeah.
Duran is back on the Twinkie.
What does it
Duran.
look like? Is it just an
Empty?
a big empty truck?
Pretty
Of,
much.
David, incidentally,
Oh, you probably have pits and stuff like that if they were like certain pits will last forever.
David sort of
And
goes a little pale,
Mm-hmm.
and then sort of ducks behind some debris, and you just hear retching.
Sorry, lad.
Because he only has a 4 body, and he rolled 1 success, which is not enough.
yeah.
Honestly, even the smell of cordite is better than that. So just like,
You just unload inside the truck.
ignite some of the spores with the friction.
It's not helping.
No,
it's
there
not.
is no helping. Also, because
You have to.
it was probably insulated to keep it at a stable temperature,
Right.
and insulation is typically made out of a foam. You know what foam does?
It absorbs.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna want to rip that insulation out.
Yeah.
We're going to want to gut this like.
Yeah, that back trailer needs to be completely like ripped out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the smell just keeps radiating further and further out.
It'll never actually dissipate. Even burning it out is not going to help because like you said, the insulation. A refrigerator that is left, closed for a year or so, you're never going to get rid of that smell.
Yeah.
So it's.
Well,
you can put stuff in it, but you're not going to want to ride. You're not going to want to ride in anything like that.
Burning will help depending on the level of burning you're doing. If you get to the point where you're changing the atomic structure of the walls,
If what we're saying is if we melt the truck down for
melt it.
slag.
Well,
the smell goes
if
away.
you melt the inside.
It depends on what
you're right,
level of fire.
You have to get rid of all the foam and then fire blast the
You'll have to
outer
like
core.
you'd have to retemper the metal basically to get rid of the
Pretty
smell.
much.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to readjust the molecules enough that it that loses whatever's
Or-
absorbed into it.
Magic.
Or magic, yeah.
If somebody's got a de-smell spell.
I'm sure there is a cleanliness spell somewhere.
In the meantime,
Duran, I hope you invented that spell
He's a dwarf. Why would he invent that spell?
for this specific situation.
we're still talking about the smell of the truck.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully we have.
David is still retching off to one side.
While that's going on, I'm gonna go see if I can salvage the front of the truck and hopefully let the smell waft
Well, we have
out
to
away from the
Was
door.
we have to
I okay?
unbury the front of the
Yeah,
truck.
you're nauseous, but you're not vomiting.
Awesome.
Looking at the front of the truck, is there a conceivable way to unbury this?
Make me a logic.
Propping up the supports.
Short, you know, I've got
pulling.
explosives. I don't know if we want to.
Would
we
I
blow the building?
Would I be able to argue for a logic industrial mechanics?
Yes.
Okay.
Industrial mechanics would be the. I was looking for architecture. Industrial mechanics is what that would be.
What are we doing? What truck?
They're looking at the cab and seeing if there's a way to unbury it.
2 successes.
Pull it away from the building without having the building fall on them, basically.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Maybe if I could artfully place explosives.
So the cab has become an integral part of the structure of this collapsing building. At this point, you'd have to replace the weight. Like whatever, you'd have to hold up whatever it's holding up before you could pull it out.
Spider car?
Could we
Jacks.
instead knock whatever it's holding up off?
You look up and
The
see
whole building- the whole
how many
building would
stories
have to
of
go
buildings
away.
are on top of this thing?
7 stories of building are still on top of it.
You got enough explosives to knock down 7 stories?
From the backside, so it
No, no,
collapses
no,
that
I'm
way.
going to look at you. So you want me to have the explosives to destroy this entire building and not at all touch the truck?
I just want you to tip it that way. I say pointing to the other side.
Yes, and you know where the explosive force has to come from, correct? You do. There was this man, very intelligent man, even if he was not French. His name was Mr. Isaac Newton. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Please
Yes,
explain
of
Newton's
course.
first law of physics in
Yes.
a French accent.
And you're going to plant all the explosives in the building so that it collapses.
So what you're saying is
down
you
the
can't
truck.
do it?
He can. It is possible to do that.
I mean, I'm issuing him the
especially
challenge.
if you're
I'm issuing him the challenge. So you're saying you can't do it?
Want me to make a
Okay,
logic
yeah, good.
demolitions check to see if there's any potential way to do this?
Yes, there is. I mean, because you've got
It's
all
the
the
same way you
supports.
chop down a tree. You remove the other side
you
of the
move
support.
the other side of the.
Yeah, but the truck is the other side of the support.
Have you ever watched all those tapes of
Go ahead,
the demolition?
let him roll
Go
a
ahead,
thing.
roll it.
He's the demolitionist, not you.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Because you can.
So the only way you could think of would be to blow out the supports on the other side of the building, whatever's left of it.
Yeah.
yeah. and everything collapses.
Because looking up the building is sort of leaning over on top of this truck, but it still has. It's not like entirely leaning. It's just kind of leaning, which means that the supports on the other side are still intact. If you were to blow enough of the supports out on the other side of the building, it would tilt the other way, and that would take some of the pressure off, might take all the pressure off. You're not 100% certain because
Might collapse the whole building straight down.
yeah, because it might make things worse. It might make things better. You've never really demolished an already demolished building.
Yeah.
Well, most demolitions of buildings is they try to bring it, they implode it, they try to bring it down upon itself. You just do the opposite and blow it a certain direction.
Yeah, you could.
It will.
You could theoretically play.
Theoretically, if you
My
know enough
concern
about
is
explosives,
less,
Yeah, I
what
know.
you do with a fully stable building and more what you do with something that's
already
cutting down a
unstable.
rotten tree is very different than cutting down a tree.
It's true.
okay.
But yeah, no. How much explosives would that take based on the size of this building?
Not as much as it would take to bring down the regular size building.
You imagine you've got.
I've got
stories?
commercial explosives and I've got C4. Commercial explosives is probably what we're using here because I need more area of
Area.
explosive.
Yeah, it needs
Right.
more pressure than power. You probably would need. How much explosive do you have?
I've got 10 kilos. I'm guessing a kilo at each support
Strategically,
structure.
yeah, you could probably strategically place
Be that much.
3 kilos of explosives to as far as you can tell, to sort of disrupt it in a correct enough direction that it would lean off the truck. It would be very loud, though, and then the building might collapse, which might draw unwanted attention.
We have a literal death walker, so
We can't face a dragon.
not a dragon, but
You can't outrun a dragon in the literal Death Walker either.
can't outrun a dragon
It's
in
a
this truck
death
either.
walker, not a death.
Not a Death Runner.
Not anything expedient.
And you do know there has been a dragon in the area recently.
I look over.
Noisy.
There might be a way to
Wait. Oh,
alleviate
wait.
some of the pressure.
Silence. A silence spell on each of the explosives.
You have silence?
Yes, dude.
I don't know that though.
I do
I'm
that.
still looking at.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
he's-
am
he's gonna-
am I
he's gonna say-
there by
I'm
now?
looking at the
It's
door.
still, it's your,
Am
the
I
the
there
Death
by now?
Twinkie is still about 10 minutes out.
Oh, okay.
I look at the door. You do realize, of course, that even if I do alleviate some of the pressure, there is also the fact that there was a creature flying around here earlier. I do not know if you remember the insatiable heat that was there.
We've got some mages on board, and I know at least one of them is specialized at getting places they're not supposed to be. We'll see if they've got something.
They were running away from the dragon earlier. I just would like to remind you of that.
Running away, yes. That's one of their jobs, is to get places.
One of their jobs is to run away from dragons.
Let me put this to you in as close of a French accent as I can get it, and I do a horrible French accent because I'm Scottish. You ever seen a Scottish person try and do a French accent?
No, I've only ever seen a Scottish person intentionally doing a poor French accent.
Please do it. Are you actually going to do it?
I don't think... I can barely do a French accent. I don't think I can do a Scottish person doing a French accent. I can't double accent myself, I don't think.
Please make my day.
One of their jobs is to be sneaky. In the worst Scottish French accent ever.
I mean, to me, I don't even recognize it as French because it's so bad. And I'm French.
Sounds almost Quebecois, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, English, French, Scottish, French, you know.
Yeah.
Unless you have some sort of way of alleviating the sound, the explosion, the... Also, the fact that
Are we there yet?
I recall your Geiger counters have gone up since we have encountered this, yes?
Do you have a better plan?
And
Oh yeah, our
Explain-
Geiger counter's still.
I went through
I need you to make a body roll now.
I remember you.
Yep.
I remember a brief refresher they gave on how
Did you vomit?
radioactive waste works.
You start hearing several people vomiting in the Death Twinkie, by the way.
And if I recall,
Or hanging out windows and vomiting.
Try not to barf on the cyber tech, please.
the worst part about radioactivity is that the dust that settles is what has a lot of the
I only have two bodies,
radioactive
so.
nature.
I mean, you know.
You have to roll
I had to
both
roll boss
successes
cards.
to
We are going to unsettle
Didn't.
a lot of radioactive dust, is what I'm saying.
If you got a better plan.
At this point, Duran comes over. Holy bloody hell, what the fuck is that smell?
Something that I'm hoping you can fix, I say, pointing at the back of the trailer.
Fucking shit, piece of goddamn. And he walks over and looks at it for a minute. Thinks about the spells he has access to.
Also, am I correct in assuming that radioactive dust
oxygenate?
would fly quite liberally in this area if I were to explode this?
Probably.
Is what?
Radioactive dust, you know?
Oh, all that stuff. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
you-
the other thing.
There's
That's why.
definitely radiation in the air. There's definitely more radiation in the area than in others. Like, you're not certain if there's a radioactive pocket nearby. You haven't really explored too thoroughly yet.
Does oxygenate have to be on a person?
No. Actually,
That'll
yes,
help
it
it.
does. It
Yeah,
does.
that's what
But
I thought.
another spell can be slightly modified.
Ooh.
New spells on the fly.
I mean, makes the difficulty higher, but if you got enough force, you can do almost anything. Yep. So he sort of looks over, raises a hand, twirls it, and yanks. And there's this almost gale force like wind that just sort of erupts out of the truck. This black,
Right.
powdery spore like smoke just sort of funneling up into the air.
Is that the
And then as it rises, the blackness of the smoke suddenly and just clarifies into clear smoke and then air. The smell is still there,
I don't
but
have
drastically reduced.
Now it's a handful of rotten peaches versus the rot of the earth.
Yes.
Still got the pits and everything.
Like,
But
you're still gonna have to get rid of all that, but... Oh, damn, that smelled bad.
Oh no, we're still gonna have to clean this entire thing out twice over. But that's better than it was. Now we need to get this building off of it.
as a question. You earlier raised pillars of stone out of the ground itself, did you not?
Yeah,
Could you do that right there to complete that support beam?
probably.
There we go. Easier solution.
Magic solves everything.
That is what I have learned.
He goes over
what
and
about
takes a look.
the entertainment spell? Does that have smells to it? 'Cause,
Yes, it can.
I can
Sorry.
cover it with
the tri-D,
Trident, yeah,
the
I know.
Trident,
That's
the
one.
tri-D entertainment spell can,
Trident
not the
entertainment.
regular one.
Yeah, I know. That's the one I have.
Yes.
So I could cover up the odors at least.
You could
We-
make
we-
it strawberry scented compost.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
And I'm making a sensing roll just so you can see if you can tell what he did.
I got one success.
He looks over. Definitely some form of detox spell after using some form of wind spell to pull it all out.
Yeah, that would be.
Basically, he sort of formed formed a directional vacuum
Right.
and then detoxed everything in the vacuum to sort of burn away the effectively at this point poison.
Disease.
Yeah.
Spores, yeah.
He sort of looks at it for a minute. Well, I could do that, but I'd need you all to give some physical support to the building. Because I need to put them... And he points right where the cab is.
Yeah, we need to keep that part.
If you want the cab intact, we'd have to have something
But
supporting it
It's
long
too
enough
heavy,
that
yeah.
it could...
if we put a temporary brace in,
Yes,
Yeah.
temporary brace. Pull
All
the
right.
truck out, and then run as the thing collapses.
I'm not an engineer, but I'd say you brace it against the core.
I am an engineer.
yeah, I'm also
And industrial
I've got a
mechanics
little bit of
checks.
engineer.
Just
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
4 successes as well.
Yeah, if you guys were to make some sort of mechanical brace to sort of mount the wall, like kind of like an L bracket that would sort of attach the wall to a more firm internal core, it wouldn't hold for long.
It would hold for long enough.
Look
for
at
a
all
spell.
these useless pieces of motorcycle metal that we have.
Yeah, but it would hold for long enough to not immediately collapse.
I begin
I said.
ripping these panels off of these motorcycles because there's not, and by panels I mean the
My hand
frame.
rotates into a welding tool. Let's get to work.
All right, this is going to be an extended test from both of you. Your cumulative successes will add up to what you need. So I need 4 because you don't have a whole lot of scrap to work with.
this is going to take more than 10 minutes.
It's gonna take them a little bit, yeah. I need 4 I need 4 industrial mechanics rolls from both of you.
Can I rest in the meantime?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
yeah. You could be resting.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
If
Plus-
we didn't do this, how long would it take to get back in the spider car?
Well, make me a logic navigation check.
Forever.
If you don't have navigation, logic with a -2.
1, 2, 3.
I can't do that because I only have 2 for logic.
Then you default to be a 1 dice roll.
Oh, 1
Yeah.
success.
Oh, you wrote? All right.
Yeah, I got a success.
Several days.
Yikes.
It's not
Okay.
a practical solution, is what we're saying.
No.
The
Okay.
I have 15.
the
got
train
8.
ride, the tram
4,
cart
right?
travels
Yeah,
at about
4
60
days.
miles an hour.
Okay.
The tram cart travels at about 60 miles an hour. The truck you guys rigged up traveled at about 60 miles an hour. The spider car is traveling about 5 miles an hour. It took you about 8 hours to get out here with 2 separate 60 mile an hour vehicles. Traveling at 5 miles an hour?
12 that.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple days.
So 8 times 12. That's how many hours?
Okay.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
15.
no,
I got
not.
8.
I'm
So
not.
23 total successes.
23 total successes out of the cost of 4. All right, you put together a thing you think might hold.
That's not reassuring.
Well, at least Spider car has got a lot of torque, so if we, cable it to the back of the truck and it'll pull it out.
Yep.
And then we can slam someone can slam a rock pillar in its place.
Yep. Duran looks
Somebody
over.
strong?
No, the rock pillar is coming from the mage.
Oh, okay.
Duran prepares.
I'm also getting the heck away from this,
You think?
just in case something horrible.
Troll sets up the brace. I rig the spider car to start pulling the truck.
All right. At 5 miles an hour.
It's got all the torque in the world, though.
It does.
Yeah.
All the torque
All
in the
right,
world.
make me a piloting check.
All right. Pilot Walker. I actually need 1, 2, 3, 9. I need 2 more dice. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
All right.
That's a number.
Okay. So this spider car, and you hear the sort of
Creaking.
the creaking and groaning of a building.
Can I use Gearhead to push its torque?
Sure.
Yeah.
You hear this
For 5 minutes.
sound of shifting stone as the building starts to shift as it leans into the spot where the truck is slowly pulling away from, and it leans to a point, and then you start hearing metal groaning sounds. Just these long dramatic ting ting ting.
If it can be really long and dramatic, that'd be best.
And Duran starts very quickly shifting his hands around,
Doing wiggly fingers.
wiggling arms, but yeah. He's a hermetic mage. He basically does math to cast spells.
Yay, math spells.
It's the irregular magic high school style spellcasting.
Yep.
And poof.
Yeah.
There's a rock.
You see some blood start to pour out of his nose into his. He's
Again.
he
Is he
doesn't have a-
taking
he doesn't have a
physical
beard.
damage? Or just...
He's taking it's stun damage.
It's mostly stun? Okay.
He's not unconscious yet, so no, it's not physical damage.
Okay.
And as the truck pulls away, the building starts to lean. You hear a very loud ping, ping, ping from the brace, and the building begins to collapse right as these earthen pillars shoot up and connect. And there is this loud creaking sound. But it's not falling yet.
All right,
This guy's-
and
you're
we're
right,
leaving,
right.
and we're leaving as fast as that spider car can.
It's not falling yet.
All right.
I'm gonna...
I'm going to hop into the cab of the truck and see if there's any way to get this thing to operate.
The cab of the truck is flat.
I'm going to rip the door off the cab of the truck and reach under and see if I can get the thing to start.
I'm going to
Rip the roof off, you mean?
Whatever.
I'm gonna do the smart thing and look at that. Look at where that building is leaning and get out of the fall.
All right, so the spider car starts towing to the
Yeah, but the
side.
spider car is not going fast. I'm seeing if I can get
There's a lot of metal grinding sounds as you remember that this is a
not a
hover
wheel
truck,
truck.
and not a wheel truck.
Can I get the thing to start?
So you make me a strength body check to rip off the roof.
Strength and body?
Yep.
I can roll dice. I can roll a number of dice.
Would I be able to attach a turret to the top of this thing?
You can attach a turret to anything if you've got
But yeah,
determination.
if you've got enough time and mechanics, yeah.
How long would it take?
Probably longer than it would take for this building to fall if it's going to fall.
5, 6, 7 successes.
Okay, yeah, you and just peel this thing off.
All right, going inside.
The first thing you notice is that the battery is broken in half.
What about the engine?
Looks like it was a battery-powered engine.
But the engine is still there.
Yeah, the engine's still mostly there. It's a bit dented and
I
crushed
turn
in
back to the
places.
spider walker. If you could throw some batteries right now.
Garrick gets down, grabs a couple of batteries, and just puts them towards you.
Wham! Shove! Plug, 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 plug.
Here's this faint.
Turn on.
It's not doing anything.
Gearhead to overcharge this sucker.
Sure. Make me an automotive mechanics check.
See, I don't subscribe to the Prometheus school of running away from things, John Locke, because that's a stupid way to run away from things.
5 successes.
Okay. Yeah. No. You. How are you overcharging it?
Oh.
I'm bypassing the thing that makes batteries drain slowly, and just going full on. Get this truck moving. We can fix the. We can just.
Do you have any sort of electronic devices on you?
I have a lot of explosives.
Okay, so you reach into your bag.
No. I've got a mini welder, and I've got fuel for that because I think it's. I've got charge packs for that. Or is it fuel or charge packs for the mini welder?
Charge packs. Yeah. So you reach in, pull out a couple of charge packs, and you actually then pull out your a couple detonator caps. And sort of wire these charge packs to the engine to give it a little bit more juice. And then
a smile crosses my face as I imagine the look that the dwarf's gonna have on his face when he sees what I've rigged over here.
And then you look,
awful it is.
And then you look at it, and it's still, and you just go, wham, and the entire truck suddenly goes, and starts moving a little bit faster.
All right,
as the spider truck suddenly loses all tension and
I'm gonna spin this sucker around and.
You have no control over it right now. It is
The wheel
just
is kind
on.
of not there.
Okay, well,
it is
You
just
don't have a steering wheel
on.
It's hovering, and which
You
allows
can
me
get
to
off
pull it
and
out of
push
the way
it.
easier.
Well, you can actually probably push it faster. 'Cause you
if I
can
jump
run.
out, can I just grab the thing and run with it?
Yeah,
if it's hovering,
probably more so,
Grab
yes.
and run with the truck.
Yeah, you grab and run with the truck.
So
The
the truck is still
The
attached.
spider walker, unhook it, sling it over my shoulder, and just start running away from the building.
As you get down on the ground, you get down, grab, and start pushing. You don't worry about trying to grab things. You just grab it and shove, and the entire truck just goes sideways as you move it. The spider car.
You're catching up with the spider car and passing it.
And then there's this loud as this building begins to tip.
As it begins to tip, I'm going to grab my my respirator mask and shove it on my face so I can keep breathing when the dust flies up.
All right.
Which way is it falling?
In the direction the truck was.
Which we've walked
Which-
away from.
We're,
sideways.
okay, we've.
So you guys aren't sure if you've cleared it
toward
yet, but
us.
it is
Yeah,
falling.
We're still moving. I slam the welder's mask down.
You guys are still moving, falling, and about 2 feet behind you, this thing, wham! And a massive dust cloud erupts up into the air. None of you can see at this point, as dust just sort of covers everything.
Thank you, welder's mask.
I need you to make me a body check. No armor, just body.
Do I get my troll toughness
Yes,
bonus?
you're
Okay.
in your inherent troll toughness. As bits of building hit you in the back and legs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Okay, so yeah, you take 3 points of physical damage as this building hits the ground and bits of metal and rebar bounce off of you.
Do we need to make a check for the dust?
Do you have a respirator mask on?
I'm going to hold my breath.
Then
I'm just
you're
going to
gonna have
stop
to make
breathing.
me a body check.
I'm going to stop breathing for a while.
Does your welder's mask have
So-
a respirator in it?
It's sealed, like oxygen sealed. Like because I'm supposed to be welding and not breathing in sparks.
So he's holding his breath right now.
Yeah, I'm holding my breath. It's
So everyone that's trying to hold their breath, make me body checks.
2.
Body diving if you got it, because it's going to be the same thing.
Oh, right.
2.
2. All right.
Trace on 5 dice, which is impressive.
All right.
You rolled
So-
2 dice for body, right?
Yeah.
So you succeeded on half of them.
No.
Oh.
I didn't succeed. I'm just holding. I'm just kind of, yeah,
Right.
breathing in my.
You're used to this whole oxygen thing.
So you guys are, you guys can't see anything basically right now. You're
cast
just
I have
pushing.
thermographic vision.
This dust is so thick.
Yeah, you can't.
You
see.
can't see
in front of you.
anything. You can see the truck you have your hands on and yourself, and that's it.
Thermographic vision doesn't work through a solid wall, unfortunately.
Okay.
And
But
dust is
but
physical.
We're still moving the same direction. We're just hoping that it'll clear.
You're
eventually.
sort of holding your breath, and your eyes start watering. And just as you're about to open your mouth and gasp for air, a hand grabs you on the shoulder and shoves something metal into your mouth.
Okay.
Do you open your mouth?
No.
I would recommend.
No.
Yeah. So,
All right. Do you want to do you want to do something to whatever's
Like,
happening?
I look to see who it is.
All right. Make a perception check because you're trying to look through dust.
Through the dust storm.
Three.
You look up and you see David with a mask on.
Okay, then I open my mouth.
And there's this hiss of oxygen as your teeth clamp down on a bit of metal, and you realize he shoved a respirator into your mouth.
Okay.
I cast oxygenate on myself. And let's see,
Writing extra body dice.
6.
Yeah, if you
Yep.
ever
So
seen
give me another,
like a
give me another body.
a
So,
modern,
so
like,
first,
like
roll to cast it.
electronic welding mask,
roll to cast it.
they're fully face sealed
Roll to
because
cast.
you're
Yeah, roll
not
to cast.
supposed to get anything anywhere near this face area.
Yeah, because you don't want to breathe in metal shards.
5 successes.
Okay. So you get 5 extra dice to your body pool. You also have to resist a drain of 1.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can resist that one drain.
4, 5. Oh, resisting. We'll do the body dice first. Okay. That gives me 1, 2, 3. Ah, all of them. I got
Alright.
7.
So now roll. Oh, so sorry. Okay, so
You
you,
have 5
roll
and
the
2.
body dice. Yeah,
Yeah,
now
the
roll the
body
drain, which is charisma
And so the
willpower.
drain is.
Charisma willpower.
Yeah, what? 3,
You got a drain of 1.
1, 2,
All right.
8. Yeah.
You
I'm just gonna do one.
there's a tap on the
1,
side
2,
of your
3,
helmet,
4, 5. Yeah, I got 5. on
and
that,
Garrick
so
is holding out a respirator at you.
Grab it, and in like one motion, just
Yep. Because outriggers carry these things and extras.
yeah,
Okay.
and then like close the helmet again so I keep the dust out of my face.
Yep.
You see, I heard that there was going to be a nuclear apocalypse, so I went and bought a respirator because it seemed like a good idea at the
We're
time.
smart.
So you're
I was
you're
born
holding your
after the
breath now,
apocalypse,
and
yeah,
after
so-
a minute, Derek
That's
sort of like
Oh,
reaching
finds
out,
me and
grabs
mine,
you and
okay.
shoves the respirator in your
Okay.
mouth.
Got it.
And it looks like they've been doing it, and you're in the truck still, so you sort of see that that they were doing that for the other
Everybody else first. Yeah.
people in
Right.
the truck.
Yeah.
The dust is still there, but you're pushing the truck.
Yeah.
After a couple of minutes, you see David come up alongside you and start pushing with you. And after about 30 minutes, the dust begins to clear.
A big dust
Well, we've
cloud.
been moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Well, do you know how much
if it's
dust there's
stagnant-
going to be around here?
Yeah. If it's stagnant air, if you don't have much of a breeze, it's gonna be a while.
And so, dust begins to clear. You start to see each other again. You see the truck. You look back. You've been moving this entire time, so you've got a bit of a distance. The entire building slammed down, and it was not 2 feet behind you.
Did it make a noise?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
there was a lot of noise
We
happening.
certainly didn't have the not alert any dragons that might be nearby aspect.
However,
We're gonna die.
they couldn't see us in the dust clouds, so that's.
Now they can see us and we're gonna die.
Well, we got dust clouds
That's
duck
okay.
back into actually, so maybe.
Well, yeah, but we all look like we're covered.
Yeah, you are all
we're covered in dust.
you
so
are
you
all
can't tell
you
what
are
we
all
are.
currently yellowish brown.
Yeah.
Also, how are the Geiger counters going?
nuts.
They aren't as bad as you'd expect. They are much higher. They're higher than they were previously, but they are not at the you are about to die levels.
Tick, tick, tickety, not tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
Now that we're out, I'm going to look in the cab of this thing and see.
Because fortunately, while radioactive dust is everywhere, it has dispersed a lot.
I'm going to look in the cab of this thing and, well, look through the roof of this thing and see where the steering mechanism is.
Non-existent.
It's
So we'll
all
have to rebuild
smushed.
it.
It's all,
You
you have
very
to
very
pull
quickly
it
you determined that this
apart.
was electronic steering. So there's not like a drive shaft. It was entirely electronic controlled. It may have even been a drone truck.
All right.
But you don't see a drone control unit in it. It may have been crushed with the building.
Yeah.
We'll have to improvise on that.
In fact, make me a make me a logic perception check. As I once again complain about the fact that the skills aren't on the DM screen.
Relevant skill combinations.
Any skill combinations.
2 successes.
You notice you see the name of the shipping company, like sort of like embedded in some of the surviving bits. It was specifically a shipping company that specialized in drone fleets. So you imagine that there was a large, like, sort of what was crushed and compacted was the drone infrastructure on top of the engine, which is why the engine survived at all. Because there was a lot of stuff between it and the collapse.
What would it take to build a steering mechanism onto this thing?
It'd take time. It'd be easier to turn it into a drone rig.
Okay.
And it would be way easier, again, especially because you guys have rig units that you've removed from the bikes.
Cool.
It would be way easier to just install one of those and cannibalize it to your own purposes.
All right. Well, I can drive it, but I'm not. I'm not a droner. I work with the mechanics, not the electronics.
You're not a rigger.
No. I'm a great pilot.
Yeah. For now, it seems like everything is okay. Though you do hear rumbling in the distance.
Like that.
Yes, like a thunderstorm.
We need to get this going now.
Well, give me about 10 minutes, everyone. Get the back as cleaned out as you can. Get everything loaded in.
You do realize that the hover is working. We can tow it with the walker. It's not going fast, but
Well,
it is
it will-
some distance
keep moving.
while we fix it.
Yes.
I mean, at least we'll be moving, but yeah.
Not very quickly, but give me about 10 minutes to work on this thing.
I just go into the back and begin ripping the insulation panels off the back, out of the back of it. And
All right. Are you doing the try-D entertainment thing to make it smell better?
Try to make it smell like strawberries.
Yeah. Go ahead. Cast try-D entertainment.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I got nothing else to do. Those. That many of those.
Meanwhile, I will work on creating a new drone control for this.
Yeah, well, you've got parts, so go ahead and give me
Yeah, I don't want to
two.
use a whole one of these at all because I don't like what was controlling them.
Sure? You just want to slap it on?
No,
4, 5.
I don't want this truck trying to run me over. Thank you.
All right, so you want to cannibalize 2 of them to make a new one, basically?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. In that case, give me a logic hardware. It's going to be an extended test. Give me 3 logic hardware rolls.
I got 6 successes. So I'm gonna make the place look like a
Yep.
little forest.
What's the drain on try-D entertainment?
3. F minus 3.
Okay.
No, F minus 2.
All right, so that's going to be, and you've cast it at 4/6.
Yeah.
How many did you say?
So that'll be drain against 4.
How many did you say?
3 tests.
14.
All right. Yeah, you managed to put together. You managed to put together a suitable drone rig.
Yikes.
You're not certain if you've managed to get rid of all the bits and pieces that transmit back to whoever originally created them.
Can I turn off wireless connectivity?
You can, but you'd have to be sitting on top of it hardwired in.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, so yeah, you click off wireless connectivity. Yeah, you got yourself a drone control box.
Alright, let's get this plugged in. I'm gonna have to be jacked in just to be certain that whoever's controlling those bikes isn't gonna control this thing. So I'm going to be basically non-responsive for a bit. So
Oh, you can AR.
I can cold sim, but still, it's like a lot of my focus is gonna be on mentally driving this.
Yeah, so you get up there and you plug in, and so your vision sort of you take on the piloting role of this truck basically. And as you're sitting there, click in, hook it in, turn it on. Your heads up display changes.
Yeah.
You realize that there's a camera on this truck. As the ground in front of it, sort of like basically at mid bumper level, sort of like a camera sort of at bumper level appears in like sort of your upper right hand corner. Showing you the correct level. You've got the speedometer over here. You've got the amount of energy left in the battery down here, and you've got a GPS thing that's looking for signal down in the lower right.
No signal. Searching for network.
No signal.
Searching for network.
Yeah.
No network found.
But otherwise, the center of your vision is clear. Like you.
I literally have a HUD.
Yeah.
I have a driving game HUD.
Yeah, you have a driver HUD right now.
Turn off the Wi-Fi. It's just gonna kill the battery faster.
All right, and you've got control. You just have to think forward, and it'll go.
All right, get everything loaded up, and you know what? What was the name of the hacker?
Derek.
Derek, can you set the walker for autopilot back to the base? I'm wondering if it'll make it on time. Well, ever.
We could pick it up, turn it sideways, and stand it.
Yeah,
in
you
the
could
back-
theoretically
back
fit
end.
it into
Almost fit in.
the freight truck.
If it can fit in the freight truck, then sure.
Diagonally, yeah.
You'd
Just
have to
kinda
break
fit it in
off the
there.
legs, but
I mean, we can
We can do
disassemble
that.
it quickly
We can
enough.
disassemble certain.
It's much easier to
parts.
take things apart than to just put them together.
Just take the legs off, put them inside the pillbox, and just slide it in.
Yeah.
those people doing that, go ahead and make automotive mechanic checks. Logic automotive mechanics. Garrett's gonna give you a hand.
3.
5. Yeah, between you, Garrick, and Derek, you managed to. Yeah, because taking the legs off are way easier than putting them on and making. Because you don't care if they work now, you're just chopping them off.
Yeah, and we're not chopping them off, but we're just like unscrew, make sure we don't rip the wires.
Yeah, unscrew, disconnect, unscrew, disconnect. Throw in truck. Alright, now you've got to get it onto the truck.
Get what?
Now you've got to get it onto the truck.
Yeah.
You got the legs
Pick
off.
it up. Can you pick it up? How heavy is it?
I mean, imagine the base of it's just a bed, a flat bed, right?
What is?
The base of the walker base.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a flatbed.
How much does it weigh?
A lot.
I have a mage that levitated it previously.
It's like
yeah.
it's like 20 feet long, and is
Solid
currently
metal.
weighed down with a lot of loot.
Well, we moved the loot.
Everybody gets. I mean, we got 15 people here to.
We moved the loot
help
into the
move it.
truck.
Yeah, move all the loot, and then we'll just turn.
Duran looks over and goes, "Vroom," and then hovers up.
Push it in.
Drive the truck under.
All
Truck
right,
under.
everyone, move.
Sideways.
The back end of the truck goes.
As it adjusts.
Thankfully,
Like,
it's meant to carry heavy things.
Yeah,
Right. But like in a helicopter, if you get somebody jumps on
yeah,
and you're already hovering,
Oh yeah, I know.
you have to make the adjustment for that 200-pound weight.
yeah. And you suddenly see
Yeah.
you suddenly see the energy output spike
Yeah, as it auto adjusts.
as it has to put out more energy to keep the spider up.
All right.
Seems like he absorbed the drain this time. He's been having really poor luck on his absorption rolls.
So we've got the platform still has the turrets on it. So we still have the turrets.
Yeah, just
They're-
on
yeah.
the inside of a box truck.
Well, we've
Inside
got
the box
we've
truck. We need to.
Of a reinforced box truck.
Considering it was pulling the truck, the front turret, the one with the grenade launcher, is facing outward.
Sure.
I guess.
Facing out the back.
Yep. All right.
We can do that.
And you are currently unprotected on the front of the cab, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm a sitting duck right here.
Do you want to do anything to prevent that from happening?
I'm gonna walk over and bend the cab back into shape.
Give me a body strength roll.
Alright, there's those dice. Those dice. That should be enough dice. Hi, I'm a troll. You know what we do?
Body and strength.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep. Just for those of you wondering, the difficulty levels for success thresholds, 8 successes is an extreme difficulty test, which this was. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you roll 19 dice.
So you reached in and like sort of pull down what you previously pulled up. And so now you've got basically a roof.
And well, I had probably had to go in and straighten the side framing a little bit.
Yeah, you mostly just have a roof now, but you've got a roof.
And then I'm gonna take some of the sheet paneling. I'm vaguely familiar with drone technology. I assume that there is some sort of camera on the front.
Yeah, I've got no need for meat vision right now.
David sort of bangs on the side. I'm just gonna sit up there with you in case somebody tries to shoot you, okay?
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to
climbs up.
crudely bolt some panels onto the side so it's just the front that's open.
Alright. Automotive mechanics.
Doesn't have to be pretty. Well, I mean, I don't know. With 5 successes, it might be.
You knock it in. And everyone loads up. Set off.
Yep.
Give me a piloting aerospace.
Pilot air.
Yeah, pilot air.
You got that one?
Aerospace is for space vehicles.
That's right.
I do have pilot air. I'm not as good at it as pilot ground, but
Okay.
Pilot air.
I, too, am better at ground than I am pilot air.
Never thought you'd have to use it.
No, I figured I might.
2.
Alright, so you... This thing gets up to about 50 miles an hour.
Hey.
That's way better.
Yeah, it's a factor of 10. And yeah, it hovers, and it's a smooth ride because it's,
it's
hovering.
It doesn't
to
interact
all
with
this
the ground, so
Yeah, so just... And as you guys speed off towards your destination, we were going to take a quick break. So, if you need to get up, stretch your legs, use the bathroom, get a drink, do whatever, make sure your chair stops spinning like this one is for some reason. Go ahead and do that. We'll be back in just a few minutes. As soon as I hit the button.
That button.
No, the other
Wait,
button.
hang on. This button.
pull the lever. Wrong lever.
And rack. And I'm holding a keyboard in the about to hit somebody with it phase.
You know, a keyboard would be a very poor weapon.
Depends on what
Especially
movie you're
plastic.
watching. Because in certain movies, you can hit somebody so hard that a tooth flies out and the letters spray off in just such an angle that the camera catches them saying "fuck you."
What movie was that?
That was the movie where they bend bullets.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Wanted,
about.
I think.
That's why I've never seen it.
So they already had some loose physics.
Yeah, no, they already had really loose physics.
I think it was Wanted. Yeah.
I think it was Wanted. Yeah.
Because that's how bullets work,
It
by
was
the way.
where the guy was
just
such
see
a
Mythbusters
legendary
try that,
assassin that he could bend the bullet around.
Yeah, like
the
by
person.
swinging the gun and firing mid-swing to bend the bullet.
as if you had enough momentum in your swing to maintain that momentum on the bullet as it
Also-
traveled.
Yes, if you swing fast enough, technically, it will change the direction the bullet comes out. But once the bullet comes out,
It's going in that
straight.
direction. Yep.
It might have like a slight horizontal tilt, but it's not going to curve around an object. Because that's what they were doing it with. They were curve around a pillar.
Yeah, no. They were doing this and making the bullet go.
Yeah.
They figured by swinging their hand like that, they can make the bullet fly in a U shape.
Now it was a cool concept for the video game.
I mean, it's a cool concept. It's just not realistic.
it's sort of, you know why curveballs work in baseball is because of the way you spin the ball,
Yeah.
not the
spin
way you
ball.
throw
Not
it.
the way-
Yeah, it's the how the object spins is what matters, not what the mid is doing.
Yeah.
Are we back?
Anyways, we're back. Yeah, we've been back for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
They heard that whole rant.
They did.
Just-
Anyways,
Anyway.
so you are traveling at 50 miles an hour.
I learned this is actually a better skill than I thought it was because it's actually ground vehicle for our vehicles.
Yep. So you and David are up front. Everybody else is in the back. What you doing? Are you still
Well-
trying to put together a motorcycle?
Yeah, I'm still working on that.
Meditating.
Sure.
Yeah, you all can rest.
Are
while
you
you're on the truck.
meditating
Gonna
or are
rest.
you putting on a show of meditating?
Yes, putting on a show of meditating.
Do you still have?
You're
do you-
actually sleeping.
Are you sustaining? Try the. Are you?
Oh,
Are you
I should
sustaining the
try to
trid?
sustain the to try to
You don't have to.
keep
You,
the smell down.
it's what you rolled it once. Once you
Yeah.
say you're sustaining it, you just sustain it.
Okay.
It doesn't require another roll.
All right.
It just makes you at a -2 dice pool for everything you do
For everything,
until
yes,
you stop
yeah,
sustaining
right.
it.
But hopefully you won't have to do anything much.
Because
I'm not doing it,
magic
yeah.
is cool in Shadowrun like that. Once you've done it, just hold it. But yeah. So you guys are resting in the back of the truck, having any meaningful conversations about life, the world as it exists, etc. You realize that you're sort of getting used to the controls of this vehicle that you've rigged into, and you realize that you have atmospheric controls for the truck, for the trailer.
Also known as air conditioning.
You'd be able to close the doors too if you hadn't broken the lock.
I mean,
Or you can close the door, you just can't lock them
yeah.
or seal them.
Leave the doors open. We have guns pointing out that way. I mean, there's something to be said for airflow with helping to ventilate that smell. So turn the air conditioning on.
Also, the cooler it is, the less it will.
Smell.
The less air movement there is, so the less the smell will, enter people's olfactory senses.
Yeah.
Won't make that much difference at this point.
It's
really.
so,
Also, the outside is a desert. We could use some AC.
not a desert, it's a wasteland. There's a difference.
Probably not cold.
Not right now, no. But you do hear thunder rumbling in the distance.
I mean, it rains in deserts too, occasionally.
No, it's specifically a
not,
wasteland. Everything's overgrown.
Yeah.
It's not a desert. So yeah, you guys are in the back of the truck, and suddenly
Also,
you hear...
deserts aren't always hot. Antarctica is a desert.
That's a tundra.
No, Antarctica is a
What does
desert.
it sound like?
It sounds like AC kicking in.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was something coming out of it.
No.
My God.
Actually, that's going to make it worse temporarily because all those spores that
All the
were all
spores
up
that
in
were
the AC unit
They're not it. No,
No.
they're not.
because they got sucked out via vacuum.
Magic.
Yep.
Oh,
Magic.
Magic.
The vacuum spell actually made an
Sucked
area of
everything
zero
out.
pressure that just yanked everything out of that truck.
Good.
That's why we need music.
So yeah, It's the you have the sweet sort of strawberry smell of the Tri-D Entertainment going on, and
Covering up sort of like smell of death.
yep. And now there's a nice cool breeze circulating.
It's like a Glade air freshener.
And while the back doors aren't closed, it's blocked enough by the Death Twinkie that it's actually getting fairly nice and cool in the back.
Sounds good.
Okay.
If you really wanted to, you could probably figure out a way to pipe sound back to the trailer as well.
Don't care to right now. Actually, get back to me on that.
Unfortunately, I am not a troll with a boombox.
Nope. You are not. So, you guys
I'm
have got,
trying to figure out how much of my music collection I have stored on my person.
you have a data jack. So,
Yeah.
you've got several hours in the back of the truck. Just everybody just sitting around, resting, not talking.
Gilda's just like in the corner, hugging a gun.
Gilda knows who her friends are.
Gilda's waiting for that dragon to come down again.
Yes.
Make me a perception check.
Please don't wait that hard. If you wait hard enough, the dragon will come.
Can I see anything? Isn't it like covered?
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
still hear.
You're still out here out the back. And
How loud is this truck?
Not
very loud because it's electric.
electric and hover. And a hover
The
beam.
loudest part of the truck right now is the repulsors, which do make an amount of noise, but it's mostly just vibration of the downward force.
3.
3? All you hear is the truck. Just that constant vibration from the downward force of the repulsors.
Suddenly industrial rock as I figure out how to plug in my music.
She like jumps as soon
Yeah.
as she hears that.
The industrial rock music just suddenly comes over the speakers in the trailer.
Specifically the
Rumbles.
Surge by Miracle of Sound, because that is literally a Rigger's theme song.
After a minute, you get a message in your display going "nice try," and all of a sudden the music switches to classical French music. As Derek is sitting back there, and you guys don't see anything. You know it's Derek who's just sitting back there messing with his board.
Matisse approves.
Of course he does.
Oh, he's a better hacker than I am too.
He's a decker. You're a rigger.
Yeah.
In this particular school, he wins.
You can do each other's jobs, just not as well as the other person.
Yeah. So yeah.
When you say classical French, are you talking like Carnival of Animals, Waltz Macabre, those sort of things? Like actual classical?
What we would consider classical
Technically
today.
the early Romantic era,
Yes.
which was when France really started, yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Showing off his.
I didn't know that, so I just said yes.
So we've got some Debussy.
I know. I know lots about certain things. Classical music is not one of them.
So I'm imagining we got Debussy, because he's sort of a French dude.
There you go. And about
And it's like a message goes back to Derek. You know I can cut the whole thing off, right?
Derek responds, "Try."
I can hardware shut this shit off.
Yeah, you can, but that would just shut the truck off.
I know.
Which is why Derek said, "Try."
And we get into a rigging fight. Roll your Matrix initiative
could,
over the music.
Boys, boys, you're both pretty.
we can always climb out the back of the truck, climb over the roof, and go down and tap him on the shoulder, run back, just play around on top of the truck.
All right, so about 10 hours later, you're moving a little bit slower than normal, and it's getting dark outside. And about this point, the storm is caught up. And all of whenever there's a lightning strike, all of your radiation Geiger counters tick up real quick and then tick back down.
Oh, fun.
As
Nuclear lightning.
That's what we need.
this thunderstorm rolls in, and you hear the heavy sheet of rain just drop
Good
on
thing
the
I got a
truck.
roof.
And you're pulling up to pretty close to where the entrance to the train yard is, to the actual train tracks are, not the actual Deadlands itself. To get the whole truck there, you'd have to go overland.
Good thing I got to the.
How fast do the trains go?
There's not a big enough entrance for the truck to get in.
About 60
Thing is
miles an
bigger
hour,
than a
right?
train.
No, there's no exit for the train. There was
Yeah.
it was a ladder. It was a ladder to an escape.
Trains
hatch.
were not designed to leave the subway.
Yeah.
How fast do the trains go?
About 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, so we're
So,
going
I mean-
50. We might as well take the truck in.
I thought we were like coming up through the tunnels, not the.
No, the tunnels. So the tunnel collapses.
Okay.
Like you can actually, from the surface, you can actually see where there would have been an exit out onto land. That is just collapsed and covered in rubble.
Okay.
The only way to get out of that particular end of the trains is to climb out through an escape hatch. Which you guys are coming up to the hatch.
Well, we've got too much shit to bring down the hatch, so
Yep.
Yeah,
I
let's
keep
just
going.
keep driving.
All right, you keep driving. You're gonna have to sleep sometime.
at some point,
There are other people who can
Let
drive
the
this
other
car.
guy- Yeah, let the others.
there's one person other than me who can drive this car.
Yep.
So by the time I'm getting tired, I send the message over. Get your skinny elf ass up here and drive this thing.
Health?
Yeah, Derek's an elf.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to have a deck to drive this car.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you
we can
have
get
to be
that,
able to
right.
jack into
For me to
the.
drive a car, it has to have some method
actual
of
car.
control
Yeah.
that is not plug my brain directly into this vehicle.
Derek sort of looks up, taps onto the thing. You may feel a sudden pinch.
It's not wireless. I've actively disabled wireless.
Yeah, that's not what Derek's doing. You suddenly feel energized as a surge of energy jumps in through your rig, and you feel like Derek just overdrove you.
Sure.
So you keep driving. Okay.
Gearhead the dwarf. Wait a second.
Deckers can do weird things, especially when you have cybernetics in your brain. Which Cadmus does. So yeah, you suddenly know what your drone feels like when you overdrive them.
Yeah.
And you are wide awake.
Well, that works.
There are various interpretations of works.
And you continue on. About 10 hours later, and it's truly dark now, you realize you don't have any headlights on.
I don't have headlights that exist.
Yeah, you don't have headlights that exist, but
So we're going
you're a
like
dwarf, so
35
you've got night vision roughly.
Yeah, I believe so.
So right now you're guiding basically by your own light, not by the camera.
Mm.
Or by your own eyes.
I think it's everybody but orcs and humans get night vision.
I think orcs also have night vision.
It's just the humans. That
What
have
is
suck
with
vision.
humans and suck vision?
Actually, I don't think they're the only ones with suck
I
vision.
think not gnomes. Because gnomes were subrace of dwarves.
Because trolls have the best vision.
I think elves don't have night vision.
Yeah, they do. Or they have.
I think it's orcs who don't.
Let me look.
Because
Well,
orcs are the most human.
let me take
closest human.
while I take a look. So yeah, about 10 hours later, there's not much happening, just the occasional spike on the radiation, and you're sort of driving by your Geiger counter, keeping the correct direction, but every time your Geiger counter spikes, you sort of
Avoid.
move around and avoid where
it's a hover vehicle, so I
indicating.
can move horizontally while I'm moving.
Yep. That's
I
really,
can move laterally while I'm moving longitudinally.
Yep. And that's a good thing. Here we go. Orcs have low light vision, elves have low light vision, trolls and dwarves have thermographic vision. Humans have no vision.
Humans have
Humans
suck
blind.
vision,
Humans
but
ha-
they
hum-
get the most edge.
Humans, however, get the most edge and cost the least. So,
Because humans are boring.
I mean, edge is
the
pretty
things
good.
you can do with edge.
Yeah, but
Humans can
they're
start with
still
7
boring.
edge. Which, as I recall, was what Zachary did in the one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put 7 extra dice in here, break my limits, and all my 6s explode.
I think that's how he sniper shot 5 people dead at
In
once.
one- yeah.
You know, humans are pretty badass in Shadowrun. So, eventually, you find yourself approaching the train yard.
Humans
So,
have unlimited potential.
most of you have actually never seen the train yard from the outside. The Outriggers have, but you guys have never have. And it seems slightly strange to you that from the outside, something so small could be so big as it feels on the inside.
I work with drones. That's an everyday occurrence for me.
It's just sort of a small squat box that's half sunk into the ground. You see another large box off to either side where you know the old train scrapyard, and then where the defenders headquarters, basically where the gunsmith and the riggers and the rig drones are. It looks like at one point it may have stood a couple of stories high, but it got sunk into the ground to protect the glass, which you know the glass just looks out on dirt. And it's just sort of a very surreal experience to see it from here, because, like I said, it looks tiny. You know that there is a roof hatch that you can access, and underground there's access to the tunnels specifically through this train storage yard. You can go around, and there's one part that's sort of been dug down into a ramp.
We're gonna drive that way.
Yeah, so you and slide down into what is currently sort of the entertainment section of the place. The scrapyard, basically a bunch of decommissioned trains and broken down train carcasses, have been gutted and welded together and stuffed together to make a makeshift sort of tavern entertainment bar area. A couple of other business cellars.
So, as we're pulling in, I send the message over to Derek. Get Comrade over here. You know his song. You know what'll bring him over immediately.
Already have. You get back. And after a couple of minutes, you guys hear sort of a distant sound of music blaring. It's getting closer, closer, and closer. And you just sort of make out the words, "Bad company, I can't deny," as you, for the first time, see Comrade approaching the truck as you guys start to get out and pull things out. This is... How tall are you as a troll? You're like 8 feet tall?
I am 2 meters and 72 centimeters, which is about 8.5 feet.
Not 8.5. So, roughly a foot shorter than you. Completely straight backed. Wearing heavy red burnished armor with gold accent on certain places. Has sort of the hammer and sickle of the Soviet Union on the chest. With a massive minigun strapped to his back.
Soviet Union's older than I am.
Along with a shotgun, a comically oversized revolver on one hip, and then a gold bronzed hammer and sickle on the other hip. And just fully armored. This guy looks like, with the exception of the silly additions, you remember catalogs of the augmented soldier of the future that were passed around, the things like when military spending budgets were going around, and they were this is what we're doing with our military. Da da da. This guy looks like the poster boy for the soldier of the future ads that you saw way back when.
Only turned into a Russian propaganda machine.
I mean, it's the Russian version of it, but
I mean, to be fair, Russian propaganda machine is probably something I'm very used to.
yep.
Yeah.
And
Just not Soviet propaganda machine.
over top the coat, over top the armor, the fully armored and fully encased in armored figure is this long brown and red duster that has sort of like had the sleeves torn off at some point in time. And yeah, he's just sort of a foot shorter than you, and almost as wide.
Nice.
And as he's coming up, the music seems to be blaring from his helmet, which he sort of then wakes up, waves a hand, and it looks like he's saying something. He sort of stops, taps the side of the helmet. The music goes out, taps it again. Vents open up and smoke pours out. Close it again. Ah, yes, I think I figured this out. Hello and welcome back. I see we have new visitors to our Deadland society. Please, I am Comrade. I am one of the people you would say in charge of this humble colony. Cadmus, I see you have recovered at least a truck.
Some toys.
A little bit more than that, if you wouldn't mind carrying the big, heavy table with all the sharp needles.
Why, certainly. You know exactly what to get me for my pleasure. And he walks over towards the back of the truck. You're going to have to get the other truck inside the bigger truck out of the way first.
I'm sure you can help with that one too.
And so he, Garrick, and a couple others, Duran is really drained still, sort of heave the truck out and onto a rail cart. And then from inside it, he sees all the sort of stuff you've gathered. Ah, yes. I see you have retrieved something very valuable, Cadmus. We will get this put with the cybernetic suites that we already have.
We also got a line from that place on in Fabricator.
Ah, really? Well then, you should tell that to person whose name I have suddenly forgotten. It's just
It's all dust in the wind now.
Captain. It was in my notebook, but I didn't bring my notebook.
You didn't bring a notebook, now did you?
Harlan.
Commander.
You should tell that to Harlan. You should go and report that information to Harlan. He will get you access to the satellites. In the meantime, and he reaches down, and you remember, like, it took 2 people to carry this thing out, right?
Which one?
Actually, no, sorry, it took Bertha to carry this out.
Yeah.
Who's the troll that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Comrade reaches over, puts 2 hands underneath it, and just lifting with his knees, picks it up, and starts walking away.
All right. It's fair.
Yep. And everybody else continues to unload everything else. Garrick is deconnecting the turrets from the Death Twinkie.
The Death Twinkie is being disassembled. I don't think we need it in Death Twinkie form.
It was a good ride, but I think we should probably use the scrap.
Yeah, just bring the scrap to my machine shop, and I'll get to work on making something more useful out of it.
Yep, and we'll put the guns in the armory. Although I think I'm going to keep this one, he says, holding the twin-linked LMG with a grenade launcher.
And someone could also bring this truck to my machine shop as well. I'm going to go talk to Captain Harlan about fabricators.
Right, you should probably all go. We'll take care of the cleanup. And take your friend. I think they might have a job for him.
Right. Come along. All of you, that means you too, Frenchie.
Matisse will raise an eyebrow, and then he'll look around. Are we in like a vehicle bay area? Or
It looks like it was at one point in time. It's more like there's a lot of train cars that have sort of been welded together where you're at, making larger shelters. But it's basically, you know, like a train decommissioning yard.
Yeah.
It was that at one point.
I just need to find a place to put my motorcycle so I can work on it later.
Well, they're taking that truck somewhere.
As I'm getting out, I will pull the motorcycle out with me
Yeah, you
and chain it down to something.
can. Or you carry it with you if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, so you pick up the motorcycle and start walking.
Just sling it over my back, walk down the halls.
Sure. And you all head to meet with Harlan. So, Harlan is still in the communications, and so the communications hub of the Deadlands specifically. And he looks up as you guys enter. Ah, welcome back.
Captain?
Right, I hear you have something good for me.
Yes, give me one moment. I'm assuming there's like the satellite war table,
Yeah.
like in the middle of the room. I'll upload the information that I've got to the table and try and find it on the satellite. Try and pull up a satellite image.
Yeah, so the table, so you upload this information to the table, which blink glows. Harlan clears some papers off of it, and this holographic representation of the globe appears on it. It's sort of partially glitchy. You can tell they still haven't gotten quite the full satellite system back up online yet. But it's got sort of the current general area on it very clearly highlighted, and you start plugging coordinates, and you see it sort of like a golden light sort of like ping and starts following coordinates through it. While you're doing that, Harlan looks over. Right. I'm Captain Harlan, commander of the Outriggers here in the Deadlands and one of the leaders of the society. And you are?
Métis Dubois.
And he starts speaking to you in perfect French. Matisse, well, last time I was in France was about 200 years ago. So
What race is he?
he is he's a elf. He's
Okay.
sort of a half elf.
That's how he's still alive.
Yep.
Because elves.
Yeah, because elves live a long time.
So do trolls, if I recall.
Not as long as elves, but
No, not as long as elves, but longer than...
yeah. Orcs and humans live the same. Orcs, humans, and dwarves live roughly the same length of time. Trolls live a little bit longer, and elves live much longer. And there are some elves that never die.
There's an indeterminate amount of time that an elf will live.
Yep.
There hasn't been enough time of elves to know when that is.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he's speaking to you in perfect French, and again, you know, he just that's the thing that he says first to you. Was the last time I was in France was about 200 years ago.
If I met inquire, when was 200 years ago?
And he gives you a date, which is roughly 25 years before you went into cryo.
It was a good time in France that year. If I recall, the wine from that year was particularly sweet.
Well, I definitely lost a couple of months to that wine, so I won't argue with you there. And he's still speaking in perfect French.
Oh, yeah.
His accent isn't French at all. It definitely is somebody who is not French-speaking French, but the words that he is using and the fluency of the language is perfect.
It's alright. It's acceptable.
Meanwhile, those of you that don't speak French just hear these two going off in French.
If I recall, everybody in the room speaks French for some strange reason.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I do.
German.
oh, that's right. You don't. But you two speak French, and I know Zachary's character speaks French. Well, to clarify, I think Zachary's character speaks like every language on the planet.
Zachary's character speaks many, many languages.
As he should, because he's the social one.
No, that's right.
Yeah, go on about, until someone stops us, I will go on about the intricacies of,
And
French.
after I've got the information pulled up, I'll say in English. Right, so, based on what we found in that bunker, looks like the facility we pulled these people out from wasn't fully stocked. Records show that a fabricator never made it to the facility. One that the last known coordinates are here, as I zoom in on the spot that the coordinates are
And
found.
yeah, so the satellite system has, and it sort of highlights an area of Germany.
That's a place I could get to.
It's a bit far away. No, and Harlan looks at it. That's outside of our range currently, at least with what we have at our disposal here.
We could really use that fabricator, though.
We could, especially for Project Utopia. He's speaking in English again now. Also, if it's a facility with access to a fabricator, then it might have access to other things we might need. If it's still there. It could be long gone.
I got a very, bad feeling that it's still there and might be in use.
Why do you say that?
Well, the raiders that we've run into on this mission are little more than meat puppets for someone controlling some highly advanced machinery with very powerful rig controls that are a little bit awkward and purpose built for the thing they're controlling.
How do you mean?
Well, the bikes and the exosuits that the raiders we've encountered have been riding and wearing have specialized drone rigs built just for them that only move the moving parts of those things and nothing else, and are connected wirelessly to something, somewhere.
Have any idea how to trace back?
That one you'd want to ask Derek, someone better at the Matrix than I am.
We can head off to our techies and see what they can look at it. Do you have one of these drone rings intact?
I probably do. I probably pocketed at least one. So
Yeah, there were
pull one out,
like
set it on the
a dozen
table.
or so. So yeah, he'll hold out a hand and like turn his hand and lift, and the box just levitates up into the air. He'll flick and it'll go over to a side table and land where you see somebody look over, sort of like look at it, look back. And Harlan just sort of waves a hand and click and starts going to work on it. Right. Well, we'll get as much information as we can, put together a crew. David's outriggers are the only ones we have here at the moment. Probably could send them out to do recon.
I might request, it's not quite home, but it's a bit of a second home, Germany. I want to go there myself.
Well, if you're volunteering, we can certainly have you switch to the outriggers. You want to put together a team?
I've got most of a team here.
Well, if you're all ready for it.
Give us a little bit of time. I want to see if I can make something a little bit faster to get us there.
Certainly. And then back to you in French. He basically outlays what the outriggers and defenders are, gives you the whole recruiting spiel, and then asks if you would like to help them bring civilization back to this blasted and dreadful wasteland.
Well, if I do not bring it back, well, where is the France I knew?
Fair enough. And he'll reach down, grab a trophy, and toss it to you.
Catch it.
Put it on your wrist. It is a combination vital sign detector, radiation detector, communication device, and GPS device. Also, data pad. You can store your money in it if you want. And music, some of us do.
I suppose that the money I had is long gone.
Well, unless you want to go raid a bank and see if they have any of it still in their data storages, which, considering some of those banks were run by people of various inscrutable means, they might very well be.
But it would also mean that the people that I owe debts to, they are also gone.
Well, I don't know who you owe debts to, so I couldn't say.
I will make assumptions. Is this the only colony?
No, there are a few others scattered around the world. We've managed to get in touch with a couple. In particular, we're working with an Egyptian colony. They just call themselves the Nile Survivors, working on Project Utopia.
Good to know. Any in France?
None that we've been able to get in contact with yet, but the last time we went over towards the British Isles area, we found a group of crazy medieval knights practicing human sacrifice to stave off radiation. So, we're being a little bit wary of going north.
That was not the answer I expected.
And he said it with a completely straight face.
Well, if that is the world,
The wasteland makes pretty strange people.
Seems like a sufficient answer to me.
Yeah.
That was one of the one-shots I did. The entire team died.
Nice. It happens.
They got sacrificed to appease the radiation gods.
I mean, I suppose magic versus radiation.
It worked for them until Deadlands sent another strike force in to kill them.
I mean, yeah.
Because human sacrifice nearby, not a good choice.
No, that's not helpful.
And especially not with our outriggers out there. Alright, well then. Cadmus, consider yourself leader of Outrigger Team 17.
Perfect.
No? Maybe we'll get to 20 one day.
Well, someone still needs to keep those drones running, so whenever I'm here, I'll be doing maintenance. But let me see if I can't build something a little speedier and get us to Germany, shall I?
Right. Oh, and let Team 5's leader know I need to talk to him. And David is Team
David,
5.
Yeah. Right, will do.
All right. And you are all dismissed.
I send a message to David on the way out, tell him that Harlan needs to speak with him, and I head to the machine shop.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm immediately going to ask this man. So, where I am staying here, where will I be staying?
Oh, we've got a bunk. We got a bunk area for all of our outriggers. You'll be sharing that communal quarters until we have more space.
I shall endeavor to get more space as soon as possible.
Well, as soon as Project Utopia moves forward, hopefully we'll have as much space as anyone would like.
Is it on this trophy you called it?
Yes.
I look on the trophy to see where everything is in this building.
Yeah, and it pulls up a map, and it'll direct you to. So the way the building is constructed, the way that basically the center, what would have been at one point the commune, or not commune, the central area that you go to before to get your tickets and everything before you go to trains.
Yeah.
Main hall area has basically been converted to a semi-marketplace slash office space. So there's market stalls on one side, offices on the other side. On the other side of the marketplace is where you guys came in, which was the old salvage depot, which has been converted into an entertainment district. And on the other side of the offices, on the opposite side, are barracks, barracks for the outriggers, barracks for the defenders, and then armory and maintenance. And then north is the wall, which you look out and see is sort of just a large, what would have been the windows looking out onto the street. Now it just looks out at dirt, so the front end of it, and it's also where the entrances to the rails are. And then to the south is civilian quarters. Basically, all of anybody that's not military, that's not part of the militia, either outriggers or defenders, live there, and it's sort of it's like a 10-to-1 ratio civilians to hunters.
Okay.
So it's pretty packed.
Yeah.
Also, you notice there's probably not. You heard that you guys are team 17, which sort of gives you an idea that there's about 16 other teams. The barracks are fairly small, especially for the outriggers. The outriggers have the smallest barracks. You get the feeling that's because they're not here a lot.
Seems fair.
Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, I will. Man, I didn't rest much on the drive over, so I'll probably go actually sleep.
Yeah.
Like not cryo sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. You head to the barracks, to the outrigger barracks. It's a communal barracks. Like there's not like there are bunk beds in a row. So it's not like you can personalize your bunk.
Mm-hmm.
There are some personal affectations put up, but it's typically separated out by team. And there's also, you see a digital monitor on one end that sort of has a scoreboard. Number of success, and it's sort of separated out by successful missions, kill count, death count, and impact on Project Unity percentages.
Score.
Literally, yeah. They've basically done as much as they could to build competition in the outriggers, in particular, to encourage performance. Because if you're not working for something that you can, like, pride is the easiest motivator.
Yeah.
And it's something that keeps people going.
Appeal to ego.
Yeah. And you see, so the teams are ranked out by their overall score when you add all that together. And at the bottom, with one mission successful and 5% towards Project Unity is Team 17.
And 0 deaths.
0 deaths and 0 confirmed kills, mostly because you guys didn't record them.
Right. Well, As somebody with a degree of pride, I will need to make sure to record my kills.
Yep.
I'll have to figure out how to do that.
How do you go about just
In your trophy. Yeah, you can record it in your trophy.
So I head into the machine shop.
Okay.
Going,
What's Gilda doing?
She's kind of in a mood right now.
Yeah.
She heads over to she's angrily working on
Okay.
the corner.
Go ahead and make me. What's a skill check for that?
You've got a weaponry skill, don't you?
Armory.
Armory, yeah.
Where's armory?
It's why I took armory.
it's a technical skill.
Armorer is the.
That's it.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a logic armorer skill. Armorer check.
One success.
All right. So yeah, you go out and you start. Are you fine tuning your weapons? Or are you fine tuning the weapons that you got?
Just the weapons I have.
Yeah. So yeah, you start. You just go out, set out a table, and just start very mechanically and ritualistically cleaning your gun, taking apart, disassembling your guns, cleaning each individual part, and it's sort of you're just working on that. Make me a willpower roll.
One success.
So as you're cleaning, and you sort of take apart your gun, and you pick up the piston, the barrel, and you pull out the little feathered pipe cleaner basically, and start dusting in the barrel and getting in the grooves and making sure to get all the gunk and everything out of the rifling. You just have this very quick flash of a metal spike coming at you, and you just drop it. And you're fine. But that was sort of your first actual life and death combat scenario. And you're sort of still feeling some of the wounds. And you realize that you haven't actually been properly treated yet. Your side still kind of hurts from where you got stabbed. You just sort of grin and bear it and
Yeah.
continue cleaning the gun. Alright, Eon, what are you doing?
So the market area, they just have all kinds of different crud for sale and stuff. I'm just gonna trade out some of the stuff that I found that was jewelry and stuff and trying to convert it to cash.
Yeah.
That it was. Make sure I get everything in one nice neat little pile.
Yeah, there's one of the people, one of the civilian sort of organizations is a semi makeshift bank.
Yeah.
And basically what they've done is they've figured out they have a conversion rate for material items to New Yen, because New Yen is a digital currency. There's no need for hard anything.
Right.
And they they basically hand out the cred sticks. They have certified authorized cred sticks for hunters for the Deadlands, and that's how they prevent fake money. Basically, if you don't have an authorized cred stick, which is very difficult to hack into, then your money's probably fake. So you have your cred stick and you bring it in and hand out the things. How much stuff did you find?
About 5,000 worth.
Yeah. So they go through it. And they ascertain it roughly the same value that you ascertained, and you get 5,000 New Yen.
Okay. What kinds of I don't really need much of anything, so
there is a magical lodge in the civilian area that do create foci.
Oh right, yeah.
If you were looking
That's
to
what
potentially buy one of those,
do something like that. Yeah. How do I? That about.
Yep. Foci have a specific cost. If you want to go ahead and look up their cost in this book, and while you do that, Cadmus.
Yeah. So Cadmus steps into the machine shop and like sees the hover truck and the and the death spider have been brought in. Vanguard's taken up his position.
And you also see Comrade and Garrick sitting there talking about the gun Garrick put together, and sort of comparing it to Mr. Lennon.
And I realize that I've been running on artificial adrenaline for the past 4 hours.
Yep.
And I walk over to the bed that I've got in the corner of the machine shop and just
and pass out. Now, and as you hit that realization, Derek's overdrive ends. So you just go, and just without being able to vocalize the problem, just stomp past,
like,
and just collapse face first.
Nice.
And over the course of the rest of the evening, you all eventually get your rest. You sleep a full night, some of you with flashes of previous experiences haunting you still. And you awake the next morning.
Some of us did horrible things 175 years ago that can't haunt us anymore.
Yes.
You see, if you find out if you ignore your conscience long enough,
It goes
eventually
away.
it goes away.
Meanwhile, so when you wake up, next to, sort of on the end table next to your bed, there is a cred stick with a note on it, a little like sticky note saying, "This is your official pay. Don't lose it."
Pick it up.
You can slot it into your trophy to find out how much is on it. 3,000 million.
Nice.
And all of you, all of your accounts have been updated with an additional 3,000 million.
yeah, I have a gold cred stick, so.
How much?
3,000. And these are to your accounts with the bank, with the Deadlands bank, so you don't necessarily have to carry it on your cred stick, but it did get direct deposited when you got back.
Yeah.
So you can offload it to a credit stick whenever you want, if you want to. You all have a credit. Well, you three have a credit account. Matisse does not. Matisse just got a credit stick with 3,000 million on it.
Yeah.
He'd have to open a credit account. And you wake up.
I wake up, and then it's... Okay! Gotta make something that can take us to Germany. Right. So I immediately start working on taking the hover supports off of the truck and putting it on something a little bit smaller and faster that can carry a small squad.
Something like a buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the mechanic shop has been salvaging chassis for years to just for the eventuality of
I'm thinking
creating vehicles.
I'm thinking I want to aim for like a very rough and tumble speeder.
Yep.
With like a gun mount on one end so that I can have some kind of defense while I'm
Yeah,
going.
you've got sort of like a USB body, not USB, a SUV body sort of in there that you could probably take apart.
Yeah.
Turn to a buggy.
Nice.
Go ahead, and you're going to be making an extended test threshold. How long do you want to take on this?
All day if I need to.
All right. So we'll give you the first 12 hours. So give me 12 automotive mechanics rolls.
Logic, auto mechanic.
All right. Is Matisse going to go work on his bike?
Yes, with the scrap from the train yard and that sort of stuff, I can finally.
So you walk into the mechanic bay and
Proper tool.
you see Cadmus just tearing apart an SUV,
That's fine.
and with the hover repulsors off to one side, he's obviously trying to convert it.
I will promptly ignore Cadmus.
That's fine. All right, go ahead. So how long do you want to take on the bike?
I mean, like him all day if necessary.
All right, so we'll give you the first 12 hours. So 12 extended test rolls.
All right.
Let me know if either one of you hit 30.
It'll take a while.
She's still working on guns. Is she still getting flashes?
Not right now. You've had a good night's rest, so it's you've sort of been able to put it behind you a bit. You feel like that was probably mostly because you were tired
All right.
and stressed.
You said how many am I aiming for?
Let me know if you hit 30 before you finish 12.
She's still stressed.
Yep. No, you're definitely still stressed, but
Extremely stressed.
so what do you want to do?
working on guns.
Okay.
Just sitting there silently.
So you sit there, just quietly.
2, it's 7.
Click, 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 click. After a couple of hours, a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. It's Garrick, the orc. You know, you can only take apart and clean a pistol so many times.
She ignores him and goes back.
I hit 30 at 9.
You want to help me take care of these other guns that we got? He says, pointing over to the pile of LMGs.
She nods and
They'll hand you an LMG. Sit down, break it, go through. What'd you make?
I hit 30 at 9.
At 9? All right. So in 9 hours, you've managed to strip this. You've managed to strip the chassis and have started making progress on attaching the repulsors. How many more hours do you want to spend working on it?
Give it another 8-hour shift.
All right. Give me 8 more rolls. Let me know if you hit 30 before 8.
I hit it in 11.
All right. And that's 8 hours from now. So you hit 11. All right. So you.
It took me the whole day.
It took you 11 hours. Cadmus is still working, but you have finished a working electric bike.
How well does it function?
As good as they. Can I see the book real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You have made effectively. Let me find the vehicles. You wouldn't happen to remember what page vehicles are on.
I'm looking it up right now. Actually, I've got the. I've got the PDF in front of me.
I'll give this back to Stan. Let me know when you find the vehicles page.
I'm on there.
Look at motorcycles. You have the lowest ranking motorcycle.
Okay.
The lowest cost motorcycle, basically. Alright, so...
The lowest cost motorcycle, so better than the Dodge scooter. The one that's like literally a...
Yeah, no, it's a motorcycle, not a scooter.
Cool. Just checking.
On the 8th roll, I hit 30.
So yeah, at the 8th hour, you have successfully attached the hover repulsors to the SUV. And now you've got to work on the electronics. How many hours do you want to spend on that? Or would you like to enlist help with the electronics?
I've spent 17 hours today.
You want to give it a rest for the night?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a rest and see if Derek can give me a hand with the electronics.
Okay, so that you've been doing that all day, so back in the morning. So you and Garrick sit down, start working on these LMGs, and he breaks one open, starts pulling out stuff. So, how you doing?
fine.
Sure? You don't look fine.
Ignore.
Gets a rag, starts cleaning to the barrel. Have you had a doctor look at your stab wound yet?
Fine.
You sure? That shit can get infected.
She's ignoring him and working.
That's fine. He's working too. He's just working and talking. Yeah, no, I remember the first time I went out on a run. We got up against these, what are they called? Did they call them basilisks? Basically, fucking huge irradiated crocodiles. Like to eat a man whole kind of thing. We were with Comrade, though. And, motherfucker, he just snapped one in half. I don't know what he runs on, but it is crazy. Anyways.
He runs on crazy.
Anyways. One took a big-ass chunk out of my leg, he says, and he sort of indicates his leg, which you realize is entirely cybernetic. Had to get it replaced. He reached down, ting, ting. I mean, it's kind of better than the old one, he says, tapping it, and a compartment opens up, and he pulls a gun out. All sorts of neat hiding places. Puts it back in, closes it. You should have seen David, though, he said, still cleaning. I mean, he's our leader and all, but he fucking pissed himself. He's just talking.
She's not responding at all. She's just like aggressively.
Just even more aggressively.
Yes, just aggressively things.
Yep. He's working quickly and calmly, like, and it is like he's just sort of talking sort of secondhand while cleaning, and just breaking things and cleaning them out and. He stops talking for a little bit while he's focusing on cleaning. You just gonna keep cleaning? Say nothing?
Just aggressively going
Alright.
at it.
So you spend... How long do you spend cleaning guns?
As long as she possibly.
Until someone stops her.
Yeah.
Alright. Yep. So after a while, you get to the last LMG. And Garrick reaches over and grabs it. There's none left to sort of break down and clean. Well, thanks for the help. Breaks it, starts cleaning it. You should probably go get some rest. Or talk to someone.
She gets up and goes over to the and starts the
Yeah.
same thing on them.
The other guns have already been cleaned.
She does it again.
He looks over at you. You know, you can only clean a gun so many times before you actively break it.
She's ignoring it.
Somebody may have to force something here.
He puts
Not
it back
in a good
together,
mood.
puts it down, reaches over, puts a hand on your shoulder, pulls you away from the gun. You know, it gets better.
Just glares at him.
I mean, you get stabbed less often. Mostly because you learn to avoid it.
Glaring at him.
He's just looking down at you. He seems like the kind of guy that isn't really affected by anything. Like you recall that I think the only real emotional reaction you've ever seen him have was when he was shooting bandits. Outside of that, he's pretty much the same level, calm-headed person. And so as you glare at him, you realize that you're effectively glaring at a wall. You may as well be glaring at Comrade for all the effect your glare is having. Just that he's not armored and invisible.
Like, she just kind of brushes him off. She walks over to the bed. She sits on it and pulls out her guns and starts. She hasn't cleaned those yet. Starts working on them.
Well, yeah, I guess I can do that. And he pulls up his trophy and flicks something. And then sits back, crosses his arms, waits. And he's looking at you.
Okay. She has her back turned.
Okay. So after a while, you hear thunk, 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 thunk,
Into the medical.
and then you are lifted up off the bed.
Taken to the infirmary. Okay.
She looks up.
Comrade's holding you.
She just glares at him.
Tell me, little one, have you seen Doctor yet?
Fine.
Garrick says you have not seen Doctor yet.
I'm fine.
We're going to go see Doctor now.
She just glares at him. She knows there's no fighting Conrad.
And he turns and just walks holding you at arm's length up in the air.
He just arms crossed. Angry glare.
Just angry gnoming it right
As
now.
He's holding, just angry glare as he's holding her out.
Cadmus, while you're working on your car, you look out and you see Comrade walking past the mechanic's bay holding Gilda. Just in midair. And she's got her arms and legs crossed.
I should probably, before I sleep, I should go see about that. So
Thunk.
I put down my tools after a minute and start following after slowly.
And eventually you're taken. You're brought into the civilian ward where the medical bay is.
Okay.
And he walks into the medical bay. Dr. Zeppelita! Dr. Zepp. And you hear, Dr. Zeppelita. And this very...
Dr. Zeppeli.
Dr. Zeppelina? No. Zeppelita. And you see this very world-weary elven woman come out of a back room, wearing sort of slightly grungy medical scrubs, but not dirty, just like they've been worn a long time. Her arms are rolled, her sleeves are rolled up, and
Frayed
she's got
but clean.
They've been washed so many times, they're just sort of permanently
sort of dingy. Her sleeves are rolled up, her hands are covered in blood. Would you please put her down over there? And she moves over to the sink, starts washing her hands, and comrade thunk, 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 puts you down in a chair, reaches up, pats your head. Now you'll be good for the good doctor. I do not want to hear you've been making trouble. And he sort of waves a finger in your face. Very like a father talking to an infant. Like,
Dirty look.
and suddenly occurs to you, you don't know how old Comrade is. He just always have been there.
Just shoot some dirty look.
That's fair. Doctor finishes cleaning her hands, pulls out a towel, wipes her hands off, reaches over, grabs a data pad, grabs a little rolling stool, pulls it over, sits down on it, and just, like, she's still across the room from you, sits down on the stool, looks over, sees where you're at, turns around, puts a foot up, and just kicks herself off the wall. And so this stool just sort of slides over. And it has like a good force to it at first, and then she turns around. So, what's the problem?
Stabbed.
Where?
She shows her side.
She looks
Still arms
down.
crossed. Still
Yeah.
angry.
She looks down. Well. She raises a hand and flicks her fingers, and a little burst of fire erupts from her shoulder. And when it clears, there's this small imp figure sitting on her shoulder, just sort of standing there looking. Iffy, would you please take a look? And he climbs down her arm, hops over onto the chair, and just reaches over and like pulls like the side of your shirt up to look where you've been stabbed. Write something down on the data pad. How long ago were you stabbed?
How long?
Like a day and a half. Like a day ago now. Actually, a day and a half ago.
About a day.
And you didn't have anyone see to these wounds before now? Writes down more on the data pad. Well, you've got an infection. You've probably been having a headache, probably some hallucinations for a little while.
Are you implying that these, like, hobo machines haven't been sanitizing their stabby spikes?
Yes.
What? How inconsiderate.
You know if anyone else on your team was stabbed?
Was anyone else?
The person that
I thought I healed
I
him,
was,
too.
but I was healed.
I healed
Yeah.
him. I didn't know that she had.
I was
She
attacked,
didn't tell
but
anyone.
Yeah.
She's not a big
She's not very
talker.
open.
No, she's
Ma-
not open.
Matisse had been stabbed.
Oh, Matisse.
Yeah, but he had been healed.
Oh, right. Okay.
I would have healed you if I'd have known.
Good.
But
So she
don't know.
shakes her head.
Oh, all your stun damage, by the way, is gone, everyone.
Yeah.
The only thing that's still there is physical damage.
Yes.
How much physical damage have you taken? There's like 3 boxes.
It was 6 spots.
6 boxes. Ah! You're a lot more injured than I,
I
thought.
knew it was a significant. I forgot how injured I was.
Yeah.
Passes out.
I would have passed it out.
Bleeds
Thump.
out.
Well, I would have noticed that and healed.
Well,
Right.
she was too stoic.
Well,
Evidently.
Oh, she-
I need you to look at me. I'm going to count to 3. 1. Make a body check.
Ah,
I feel like this is about to hurt.
yeah.
Wow.
No successes.
You scream as the wounds are burned closed by this little imp touching you. Yeah, I start at 1 because they expected to start at 3, and the surprise makes them hold still. I don't know what you're looking at me for. I'm the doctor. He's the one that burned you. She says, putting it on the imp. Just looks up at you.
She tries to like squish him like a bug. Like,
Make a
hand
attack
just
roll.
comes down. A what?
Make an unarmed attack roll.
What? What do I roll for that?
Unarmed.
Agility
where?
plus the unarmed skill.
Okay.
Oh wow, you're really good at that.
Oh yeah, I do have. Oh wow, I am really good at that. Hold on.
You still at -2 dice pool?
Yeah, you still haven't been healed yet. You've just been
Okay.
the wounds have been
Okay,
treated.
that's fine. I still have a significant amount. Three successes.
So you slap down where it was, and before it connects, it dissipates into fire. You slap down past it, and it reappears on top of your hand. Now, what he did was get rid of the infection. You'll start to feel better on that end soon. Now, what I've got to do, she says, sort of drawing a symbol in the air and then putting your hand through it and onto your shoulder. You heal 4.
Okay.
So you feel like the wounds had already been burned, and now they sort of, like, you sort of feel that pain lessen drastically, and you sort of look down instinctively to see what's happened, and all that's left is some very light scarring. She sort of brings her hand back, looks down. Ah, yes, well. And does it again. You heal the remaining amount of damage. And the scars just sort of... The scars fade.
It was 6.
They are... They're still visible. Like, you're still going to have visible scars there. But the internal damage has all been completely restored. You're feeling actually much better. Lighter, even. Like when you're injured that way and you favor your side, you start to feel a little bit heavy on that side. You suddenly, like, it doesn't hurt to move again anymore. And at this point, the imp sort of jumps back over and clambers back up onto her shoulder. And she sort of looks at you. All right, well, your wounds are healed. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
She just gets up.
Cadmus is leaning on the wall outside the door.
As you walk out, she goes, I am a licensed psychiatrist. If you ever need to talk, feel free to come back. And she puts a foot up on the chair that you had been sitting in and pushes, and she rolls back into the room that she had been in previously. A little imp on her shoulder. If you ever learn what the imp is saying, it might be interesting.
Which is that?
Impish.
I don't know which human language it sounds like.
I don't know. There might be one.
Yeah, you walk outside and Cadmus is staying there.
Stares at you.
You know, I wish I could say it gets easier, but it really doesn't. This is Deadlands. It's not a place for soft. It's got a way of beating that out of you. And to be fair, that's the purpose of the project. We're trying to make a world where people can be soft, where they can not worry about what's going to kill them tomorrow. But for right now, you and I have got to be tough as nails and hard as stone if we want to see that world tomorrow.
Sorry.
She just loves staring.
She still does this.
She doesn't say anything.
And the two stare at each other dramatically.
Meanwhile, back at the mechanic shop.
Oh, are we-
No, I was
say-
playing.
It's going to talk.
I was playing.
Doesn't make much of a difference to me.
Well, the idea of something in the future worth fighting for, something that you can be a surly son of a bitch for, it's a little bit gratifying to know that you're not just spitting anger at the wall. Harlan's dreams might be far-fetched, but it's good to have a dream.
My dreams died a long time ago.
Find a new one. When we stop dreaming, that's when we die. When we stop having something to live for.
She just walks past him.
Let's go.
Where you heading?
She heads back to her area.
As you're going past, comrades walking past, carrying something heavy, and as he's walking, you hear blasting from his helmet, "Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree?" Just as he's walking past, he's carrying something. He's carrying like a huge box, just not paying attention to anything but where he's going, and just music playing.
He's carrying like a video game crate. You know, the crates that don't actually exist anywhere.
No, it actually looks like it's an ammo crate.
Okay.
Dream of the night is dreams.
That's just what he was playing. Man has a very good taste of music.
Calvinus heads back because this is probably near the end of his work on the.
You also passed by Comrade playing Sweet Dreams of
Yeah.
Made of This.
He kind of nods. He probably heads back to his bunk because he's probably near the end of his
Yeah.
17 hours of working on it.
And you have a working motorcycle now
Yay.
with those stats.
Yeah. Now just to make it appropriately pretty.
Yep. Are you going to put that ram plate on
Oh yeah.
it?
I thought I already attached that to the body, but yeah.
No, you did. That's right, you did.
There's a ram plate on it because ram plate. If I mount a gun, the front of it, would it be gunnery to fire it or piloting to fire it? Because
Gunnery. Gunnery is for firing any sort of mounted turret,
Yeah.
especially if you're not directly holding the trigger.
Okay, cool.
Um,
I'd have to get a gun, obviously.
yeah,
But
you'd have to get one. Right now you have a ram plate. A ram plate, by the way, allows you to ram a target, and you basically deal. You make an attack roll with your driving skill, and you deal the amount of successes over a 1 plus the body of the vehicle
okay.
in damage, without damaging the vehicle because you got the ram plate.
So what you're saying is this vehicle does less damage than my fist,
Yes,
but
You can do a
But-
drive by and swing at somebody.
but you
instead.
can do it at high speeds without risking yourself.
yeah, no, there's definitely advantages to that.
Yeah.
The fact that it's troll size, does that change any of the stats or anything?
No.
Okay. Well, at that point, I'm gonna work on decal work and painting.
That you can just do. You don't have to make rolls for that,
Make it. It has to be red, white, and blue.
obviously, but in the correct order.
Yes. What sort of heathen do you take me for, John?
I don't know.
We can't have it mistaken for America red, white, and blue.
No,
or
certainly not.
British.
Nope, no British.
Why is red, white, and blue so common? Fuck.
Because they're important colors.
And because Europe did it, and then everyone else that Europe colonized did it.
Well,
Yeah.
America and France did it because they revolted around about the same time.
Yeah.
And they stole from each other's revolutions.
Well, they worked with each other.
Well, but one was... Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, Eon,
France and America used to be great friends.
Eon, what you doing?
Yeah. Do I want one of these or one of those?
Which one's
Probably
cheaper?
these.
I don't know.
Remember, it costs a karma to make. So
Yeah.
You'll be putting
So,
whatever.
What's the difference between?
This will be your downtime. So
Yeah.
What? Well, so the audience can know what
Okay.
you focus you're thinking of.
The difference between like a spell foci and the power foci.
All right. So the
I mean,
power
power-
focus. The
yeah.
power focus adds its rating to all of your spellcasting rolls for to all of your skill rolls with. Let me find it real quick. Sorcery, conjuring, and enchanting. It basically increases your effective magic rating when you're making those rolls.
But there's
A spell focus empowers a specific sorcery-based skill.
like for
you can
combat.
for a specific type of spell.
Right. Okay.
So if you use a spell focus, for instance, if you have the heal spell, and you have a spell focus for healing, it gives you additional dice, additional effect
For that
for healing the healing school of spells. If it's
Right.
combat, it does that for combat. If it's detection, it does that for detection. A power focus gives you bonuses to specific rolls that you might be making.
like for damage or for
Well, like to activate an ability, to summon a spirit, for instance.
And then a
Right.
battle focus is a magic smash stick.
A weapon focus
Weapon focus.
is a
weapon
magic smashing
focus,
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a combat focus for. I got to figure out summoning spirits and stuff like that. Is what I'm.
Yeah, so
I'm
like
questioning now.
summoning
If I do a
spirits.
summon spirits.
So the thing the doctor did right there was summoning a spirit,
yeah.
and that was
And
particularly that was particularly a fire spirit that could help. That helps her in medicine checks. Lets her do things like cure an infection, maybe also help doing healing checks. That's something that you can do as a sorcerer. In fact, you could also theoretically find, because you're a shamanistic tradition, you could find a mentor spirit if you were to go on a journey and find one of those, and they can give you additional effects similar to focuses. But you can determine what focus you want after, because we're just about
Yeah,
we're
right,
actually
we're
we're wrapping up now, so
Yeah.
you
that
can
might be-
determine what focus you're
I'll
getting later.
figure out some of those.
So, as some of you go to bed, some of you spray decals onto a bike, some of you go focus shopping. You go to bed, you go to your tasks knowing that tomorrow brings a new mission and new dangers and new opportunities to make a killer car.
Literally.
And most of you are okay with the dangers that it brings, either whether it be for glory, for the good of the community, for just for fun. And some of you might be a little bit more wary of what sort of danger you might be putting yourself in. But you go to bed knowing that you have made steps forward, significant steps forward, towards the betterment of your situation and that of the Deadlands. And that's, while maybe not a comforting thought, is a good thought. And that's where we'll end it for the night. So, we have been Final Show Films. We produce a wide variety of content every day of the week. You can check us out on our website at finalshowfilms.com. You can also check us out on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can help support us along with all of our other patrons. Thank you to all of our patrons, especially our $25 tier supporters, Chris Comfort, Antitonic, and Cat Waterflame,
Yay, cat!
without whom we wouldn't be able to do quite as much as we do already.
Sorry, it's mandatory.
You to throw yourself out of the
You
chair.
should just rocket yourself out of the chair.
Directly onto the concrete floor.
You can support us there. Thanks to the support of our patrons, we have been able to put up this really sweet live studio, and we like it, so hopefully you guys do too.
He's nice.
It's very nice, and we are improving it constantly thanks to your help and support. If you'd like to support us here on Twitch, you can follow us here on Twitch if you're watching. You can also subscribe with that subscribe button up there, and remember, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, you do get a free $5 subscription to any Twitch channel, and it can be us if you like us. We appreciate it. You can also throw bits our way if you want to see more drastic improvements. We appreciate that as well. Sorry. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. We also appreciate the folks over at 411mania.com. William, if I want to hear about the information about that's coming out of Comic-Con, that's been coming out of Comic-Con for the past few days, where might I go to get that information?
411mania.com.
Yeah, well, what is 411mania.com?
Well, 411mania.com is a geek culture website.
Tell it to your mic.
I'm talking sideways. I'm talking to that mic.
That one's
That
not
mic
on.
is off.
Your mic listens to you.
But 411mania is a geek culture website. It's got all pop culture and nerd information, anything you might want to know about the new Spider-Man movie, anything about information coming out of Comic-Con, any wrestling, MMA, gaming news. They got everything, and also all of Final Show Films' stuff. So go check them out at 411mania.com.
Yep, we appreciate them, and we appreciate all of you. And we'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Wait, hang on. I always forget this part.
Have the keyboard in your hand
I need
before
to
you say
have-
goodbye.
I need to have the keyboard in my hand before I say goodbye. Hang on. Goodbye.